This is the tone of his voice. He's just like a bit
Eh.
softer, and that's
F
all.
it, we're
Don't
doing
get
it live.
else.
Hi everybody, welcome to the 10th point. We started with the hot mics this week. I am the Red Mage. This is week 6 of season 8, and joining me this week, as for every week, is Gosmith, and in his returning role as one of our commentaries, we have Loman because Antiho to join us. Hi guys.
Hey, what's going on, folks? How you doing? I'm joined here by Gosman, and I also have a 9-week-old pug. So you probably get to hear her yapping and biting at me. So but hopefully in between all that, I can comment on some good magic.
Yeah, we've been dealing with likewise situation at home here. My sister has gotten her own pet puppy as well. I think it's actually also around the same age, more or less.
Yeah,
We've had some trouble with peeing on the floor and such these last couple of weeks.
Oh no, she's been pretty good with that. But yeah, she's been good with that. But I take her outside quite a bit. But yeah, she's stubborn. She does it to, like, I think, upset me, because she's actually a pretty smart dog. She's actually already leash trained. She's really good with that. But yeah, when it comes to the pooping and peeing, she only does it when she wants to get my attention. Don't you? Don't you?
Oh, starting out strong here. Thank you, Cannons, for the 5 months of Prime sub. Thank you very much.
There we go. Get Bezos' money over here.
Exactly.
He don't need it. He don't need it. He's rich enough.
I think before we get too much going here with the event, today's event, I think it's time we go through our usual announcements. If you're unfamiliar with what we are the 10th point. We do weekly tournaments of Canadian Highlander. If you're unsure what Canadian Highlander is, it is a 100 card singleton format where instead of a ban list, we have a points list. This means that instead of playing, you can still play Blackloaders, you can still play Demonic Tutor, but they respectively have some amount of points that counts towards the max amount of points you can play in your list. So you can't play both Blackloaders and Demonic Tutor because they're 7 and 4 points respectively. Now, if you're curious about this format, there's a website as well for it, but even better, we have a Discord for it as well, where you can talk to other people about it, learn more, and just hang out and talk about some awesome magic. If you want to learn more about us instead, we have our website, the 10th.webly.com, where you can find information about the rulings, tournament structures and such, and anything else. And if you really want to, you can send a message to Red Mage or I on Discord. We'll always be happy to answer that. Lastly, if you want to support us, a subscription is a great way to do that, and the perhaps best way to do that, as Cannons proved to us, is a Prime subscription. It's a free way for you to sub to one Twitch streamer who you think really just deserves that bit more, not just that you got lying around anyways. So do remember to each month to use your Twitch Prime subscription, so that gets you max amount of value.
Yeah, on that note, actually, we also check. We do post every video on YouTube at the end of the tournament. And for example, we did have somebody from the European Highlander community get in contact with us because they were trying to do something similar for their community. So we had that conversation going on. Started from the YouTube comments. So if you want to get in contact with us and you're watching us on YouTube, we do watch those as well. Just wanted to make a point. We don't mention that very, very often, but we have an eye on that as well. So if you want to get in contact with us, that's also a reasonable avenue. Though I might just tell you, hey, this is my Discord. Just shoot me a message there.
Yep.
I think actually the first 7-point event I think happened last week. I think it was pretty successful. I think they had some folks playing over MTGO on it.
That's great.
Which is very cool. Yeah, I was talking to I think Mike and Mr. Verbal about it.
Yeah, I did hear about it. Yeah.
Yeah. Very cool. Different format, but cool games.
Yeah, like if you're like more into, like, say, sideboard magic or 100 cards seems too much, that's a great format to check out if you still want to see.
Yeah, if you're not familiar with Aussie Highlander, it's or Australian Highlander, it's pretty similar to this format, but it's 60 card, one of in deck with sideboards, and a point system as well. Decks tend to be a little more consistent. Different pointings as well, because the games obviously play out a little differently when you're on 60 with the sideboard. Stuff like Storm,
just a different metagame.
Yeah. Well, when you have a sideboard, it less cards with sideboards. Blue decks and black decks tend to get a little stronger because they have a lot more card selection. So you can get after those haymakers. You can play your chills, your chokes, or whatever your blood moons, all that.
Yeah.
From the board.
So we have a
Cool.
4 rounds of Swiss as always here. Just a quick note on last week, we did actually have a first of 2 special qualifier events, which was taken home by our own Bailite with Absan. So he will be going directly to our finals at the end of the 10-week season, plus the 2 rounds for the special qualifiers. So we got one of our 7 slots. Second one, the 7th slot will be, of course, our special qualifier. The last 6 will be the ones who qualify through all the points they earn up in these weeks. So we'll have to see who takes the charge today, and search for our god of victory and battle today.
So today's a regular event, correct? We're not doing a special
That
qualifier.
is correct. Yes,
Yeah.
we did have.
Qualifier's a good deal. Let's just leave up some magic cards, see if I can qualify.
Sure thing. That's sort of the idea. It's kind of a wild card ticket. It's the idea
Yeah.
for the people who either don't have the time to commit.
Yeah,
Like,
and
yeah.
we also try, for
8
example,
weeks.
the last qualifier was held on a Saturday because we were like, well, maybe you can't make it on Sundays because we have some sort of commitment that occupies your Sundays. Well, we have an event for you on Saturday. Maybe, well, I'll try to join that and try to spike my qualification through that one. So we do try to put the qualifiers in spaces where normally it's harder for people to compete.
With all this said, I think it's about time we get some pairings up and going. And we
Yeah,
get
let's get
this
some magic
And
underway.
I was waiting for you to say that. Pairings are up.
lovely stuff.
Good deal. Who are we watching first?
Let's see what we have at pairings here. I'm just going to go through the pairings here and we can decide what we want to watch. Let's find them here. Where do we have them? There we are. We have Blahguy against Evius. We have Loading, who hasn't been around for a while, so that might be worth considering, versus Brahms. Necropotence versus Luca, and Wolfgang versus UnusualThunder, who I believe has also not been here for a couple of weeks as well. So I think Loading
let's take a
might
look
be
at
someone-
Loading.
Yeah.
Loading.
Loading's going to be on their black deck. They'll be on their black deck, I bet.
Yeah, that deck
I'm
is
gonna
always
guess.
spicy.
Power of Premonition. Yeah, I'm going to guess it's going to be like Suicide Tech deck.
I think they were talking about black-green as well.
Oh, maybe
Oh,
black
yeah,
green,
might
yeah.
wonder. Oh, okay.
Like the Rock. I believe they were talking about as well, so that
Oh,
might
it could
also
be
be
on
a
the Rock, yeah.
reasonable option. to
Yeah,
see
it could be
them
the
all.
Rock. Yeah.
Brahms has been playing a lot of different things. I believe the last last week he was playing medium green. We've seen him on, I believe, green red as well, and all
Yeah,
things. But I couldn't.
Only thing
definitely
I would
see
say about
medium
Brahms
green.
range is it's going to generally be a fair deck.
And it's probably not
fair,
black.
quote unquote. Yeah, possibly. Yeah, I don't know if I've seen him play black decks before, but yeah, normally
No,
a fair, quote
it's a
unquote
bit
deck.
of a joke. He
Oh, is it?
mostly plays green.
Wait.
And is
Okay.
regularly, I think.
Oh, okay.
But he
Yeah,
also
green X.
he spreads out to other colors as well. We've seen him on different tactics, for example, medium
Oh,
red
okay.
as well. He's
Those are fair decks
definitely-
though.
He's definitely a lot of fair decks.
Mhm.
The most unfair I've seen yet is him on Pod.
Yeah, Pod's still pretty fair. I mean, Pod's a
Yeah,
pretty big.
it's for combo
today's
deck, it is
standards-
definitely on the fair side.
By today's standards, yeah. I mean,
We're not going turn 3, cast Demonic Consultation, cast Oracle.
yeah, or
win the
even
game.
like the podless pod decks that are just like Oracle. I mean, I played one I think a couple weeks back in my own event, and it was just I kind of knew it was going to be good, but I put together like basically a 5C green deck that could randomly and did twice assemble turn 3 time walk loop. You're just like,
Yeah,
okay,
exactly.
great, cool. But yeah, I was also more of a proving ground on specific cards that I think are probably a little underpointed right now. To include Oracle, to include Gamble, Neoform, and Tomb. They're very good. So sweet. So we're gonna see some magic. Let's check this out.
Yeah. Just looking over at the camera, we are still getting that set up, but it looks like at least Brahms is on a sort of green-red mid-range list from what I can see here. There seems to be a soul range, so we could be having some pretty
Okay.
something like a medium like Gruul or something, I could imagine, with that sort of starting hand.
Yeah, Gruul is it can be cool. No.
Yeah, we are getting
no,
both cameras up and going, so we should have something. Yeah, we do have cameras now. That's great.
The one thing you don't think about when you have a puppy is how annoying a headset cable is going to be.
Oh wow, yeah, true.
I'm just like, no, you can't eat that.
Oh yeah, you just go wireless. Everything
not dinner.
wireless. That
Yeah,
is just-
it should be wireless at this point. You're probably right.
The future.
Okay,
the future
so this is
has no place for wires.
This deck is going to be very aggressive. I think you keep that though. I mean, you got both
Yeah.
colors of mana. You got a dark ritual. You got a lot of pointers down there.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's the black source.
Yeah, they have a
One
black
that's marked as
source.
black.
Huh?
The camera seems to be a bit weird.
I'm
Okay, we
working
jumped
on it.
over that. Actually, both hands are pretty explosive.
Oh yeah, that's a mock.
Yeah, it's a Mox
jet.
Jet.
Yeah.
The only issue with both these hands is like, so like the Soul Ring hand's good. It doesn't have something to do on turn 2 right now, which is kind of like, all right. So we just cast Dark Ritual and foretold the card, which is like kind of a more anemic use of it. Draw 2 and then foretell a card. It's not like exactly where you want to be. I mean, they use Sign and Blood plus the Dark Rit, which is fine. But I think generally with Ritual, like in my opinion, you want to be like using it very aggressively to like progress the board or to get towards a combo of some sort.
I mean, I would make the claim that was definitely aggressive.
Oh,
wow, that's actually a really decent draw with Mind Stone there.
Mind Stone is very good, yeah, because it's going to allow them to get a turn 2 Sarkin down, which is a 5-turn clock. Also,
which, that's usually the turn you play a 5-mana card. After all.
Yeah, turn 2, yeah, it's a reasonable time frame.
Seems pretty, yeah. Like anything else would be too slow, right? I mean, we can't have ourselves playing a 5-drop on turn 5 or heck even 4.
if you're in I can't tell what that other green card is next to Questing Beast in between Heartless
That
Axe.
that is the adventure.
There's a grapple with the past.
It's grapple.
No, it's the 2-mana green recover that can be played as a tapped land.
Oh, okay. It's a regrowth. It's a regrowth land.
Regrowth is the word I was looking for.
Gotcha.
It's back any card from graveyard, but it can be played as a land. Definitely a solid choice if you're playing some slower green decks.
Yeah, I think recover is a mechanic. There's reclaim, which is like the worst version of more modern version of regrowth. Yeah. There's some 3-mana reclaim.
Oh no, this Inquisition just a tap bit too late.
Yeah, it's like,
Seeing this hand of.
Well, honestly, like Questing Beast is not bad here because like they're gonna get down this Sarkin. It'll go to 5, I want to say, and then the Questing Beast can take it off range to kill it. The Questing Beast, which is not
and then
bad.
you have access to the Let's act here to take care of the big dragon. Now the dragon's gonna eat your Questing Beast, so that's sad.
Yeah, but it's a 8-drop, or 7-drop. So I mean, like you're not quite on that, right?
It's still a turn away, yeah.
Yeah. So maybe you get another piece of hand attack or something. That's a ways off. I do think one thing that'd be interesting to see from
on Brahms' end here,
deck building perspective, would be how many Snowlands are you running to run that new Snowland, the 4/3 Vigilant one? I really like the card, but I kind of feel like it's ambitious even in 2-color decks. I really like it.
It is. I believe it's triple Snow Crank to activate.
It is, yeah, but it's big. I mean, it's a good card.
Yeah.
I think you want Eldrazi and
it's definitely a solid mono color card for sure. Like if you're playing mono white, mono green,
because you do run infinite basics in the deck as well. Although I don't think it's worth it, but I have considered it.
Yeah, I could see it. I could see it being heavy, like particularly like you mentioned Blood Moon, because that deck tends to just purposefully play a lot of basics.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, in 2-color, I haven't been sold on. All right, well. Unfortunately, an Ancient Tomb was drawn, and it's going to murder the Questing Beast immediately.
Yeah, that keeps talking alive as well.
The good news is, I mean, if you can draw a threat here, you can kill off the Atarka, and then possibly put something down that pressures the Sarkin, and then they're kind of out of gas. I mean, at least as we know, the hand's a little delayed, but...
Gosmith, can you...
By the way. Can I?
Exactly. Can you take this whole judge thing?
Yeah. Maybe you do. So that looks like a threat. Unfortunately, it's probably going to... I forget how does this card make mana in some way? Oh, it untaps, yeah. So it untaps, and they can kill this thing, and then it is going to stay alive against the Sarkin, but it will likely get hit. Yeah. Unless they just go directly to face.
So, you could...
What do you think of actually just killing the Sarkin here? Like, does this have Death Touch or no?
What has Death? No, it only has Menace. But Menace is good enough. Menace gets...
Menace is good enough to kill it off, yep. So it'll kill off the Sarkin, and then you trade off your Planeswalker. They could just go to face, like put you to 4. I mean, it is black or green-red, which means that once we know their hand, I mean, they could have Burn in there and close out the game when their opponent's on 4. I mean, obviously, you run the risk of having your Atarka killed and then, not having a board, but... And they could stabilize, but...
Yeah, I mean, the Heartless Act would be able to do that, right? If we wanted to.
is if you go to 4, I mean, like green-red is a mid-range deck, but it runs burn, so like you could just die at 4 pretty
Wait
easily.
a second. Is there an Atarka in Brahms' hand?
No. Here's the deal. Like that camera's been effed up for a long while. That hand's been frozen. Yeah, the Sarkhan's dead. That hand's very old, so we don't really know what's in their hand right now of 3 cards. I mean, we probably know 1 forest is in there, maybe 2. We don't know their last card right now. I think it's 2 forest and X. Yeah, because the forest art's different on their forest. So they have 2 forests in hand. We don't know the rest.
I'll shoot Brahms a message about that.
Yeah. They may just have some lag. Who knows? Some latency issues.
But
see if they're going for a draw here. If they play a threat, I think the game's theirs. Yeah, it looks like they're playing a threat. And that's going to be enough, I think. I don't think it's going to be very possible to come back from that. And as we saw, they did go to face. They went to face with the Tarka, not at the Planeswalker. They're just looking to close out. And what do you think they get here? My guess would be probably just the Fierce Empath, just in case there is like a Damnation in deck. Nope, they're going to go with this, which seems reasonable as well. Gets back a Sarkhan, which is essentially, it's pretty similar to getting another threat with Fierce Empath. And yeah, Soul Ring, Ancient Tomb, very good cards. Actually, Ancient Tomb's a card that I think should go to a point. But
certainly, like it has a lot of similarities with other things that are pointed, for sure. So, like, I can definitely see the reasoning there.
Yeah, access to mana. It's a lot of mana, and it's not
everything.
No, I do think there should be a lot more one-pointed cards and a lot less big-pointed cards. I think the format would be preferable that way. It just makes it more interesting from a deck-building perspective. I like one-pointed cards a lot. I hate two-pointers. Like Vampiric Tutor, I can never play it because it's a 2-pointed card, and it's just not a good 2-pointed card. At the cost, it's a very good card. Don't get me wrong, but it's an awkward pointing.
There's definitely some cases where 2 points are relevant, either because of how it interacts with something else. For example, the Spell Seeker, due to the fact that it's really good with Time Walk, I think is a very important.
No, that needs to be 2 points. I mean, that card does need to be 2 points because it's or you need to look to point Neoform, point Gamble, point Tomb, which is actually something that I'm pushing for because I think it does help balance those decks. Those decks are very good. The Seeker decks are. Very competitive. All right, so Heartless Act. So ostensibly, we're not alive. We actually know they have our death in hand, right? I mean, I guess, we can bring this back. Okay.
Yeah, so we do have some Heaven here to help us out a little bit.
So this actually, maybe you can stabilize here. So you got the board cleared.
Do we know what Brahms has in hand?
We know Brahms has a Sarkhan, so we're taking 4 in the
Sarkhan,
air. Yeah, we know that for a fact. I do believe we know they have 2 forests as well. We don't know what their last card is because they had different forest art in their stale hand than is on the board. So I think one of them was a Zendikar forest, and the one I don't recall the version, but it wasn't the versions on the board.
It's not completely unheard of if we just see a Sarkhan here, maybe crack the Mind Stone.
Alrighty, so they're thinking. They're in the tank at least at this point. You may see them crack a Mind Stone before they go past their main one. I think I would use Soul Ring to do it, though.
So so here's the question. We see the tap Snowland here from loading.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes sense considering you have things like this creature land here, but do you prefer having it like this one snow tap land, or would you rather just have it on a basic in that place, in your opinion?
Look, so like enemy color decks tend to struggle a little bit. 2-color decks tend to struggle a little bit still with mana, but I think they're at a point now. I don't like those lands, period, the snow lands, unless someone breaks snow in the format. I don't tend to like tapped lands, especially ones that don't do something very powerful or that.
Well, there is the argument that those cards, like the color for enemy, the mana for enemy for 2-color enemy color decks has not been historically great, and that is an additional land with types.
It's a lot better now. I mean, like and even so, you can play a Triome that has both those colors in it. And just cycle it.
That was going to be my next point.
Whoa!
What
they conceded?
Mindstone cracked preemptively before conceding. Interesting.
Well, they know they have to put them up to 6. to cast out their card. They don't want to tap Ancient Tomb there because it puts them to lethal on the
Yeah, because that
unblockable
puts them
threat.
dead, presumably.
I
They
would have
still
at
been
least.
able to at least cast.
They could have killed off.
Sarkhan here.
Yeah, they could have cast Sarkhan and killed off the Walker that is making menace threats. That was kind of a surprising turn of events. I did not feel like the game was going that way. But hey,
Maybe we could get this Sarkhan up the screen because it is. There's definitely a lot of Sarkhans, and seeing which one is it.
oh yeah, sure. So it was actually on board beforehand. It died. So we could probably pull it up. I forget the actual name of that Sarkhan. There's a lot of them.
It's
But
the
the
Dragon
5-mana
Speaker.
Dragon Speaker, yeah, it's a red 3, and when it comes in, you can plus it, and it becomes a 4/4 indestructible dragon creature with haste. And then you can -3 it to Flame Tongue Kavu something, or Chandra it if you're Chandra Torch Defiance something if you're into the new lingo. And then I have no clue what the ultimate is, but it's something that kills people. Something that never happens in the format, rarely does. What does it do?
This is a
It
really
doesn't
interesting
really
answer
kill
note
people
here,
that much.
actually.
You get a what it's called. You get the thing where you discard your hand every turn, but you draw a bunch of extra cards.
Avaricious Dragon effect, yeah.
There's an
Right,
old
you just- you
artifact
draw two.
that does that. What is it called?
Good
I
question.
don't know.
I'll figure that out.
What-
Don't
So
don't go anywhere.
this hand's pretty awkward from loading's perspective. It's just a lot of tapped lands, strip mine. Although at a minimum, like it's not a. If their opponent does not have fast mana, they don't have fast mana. Strip mine is
Yeah.
going to do some work in this matchup.
Absolutely.
I honestly could see them just strip mining here. Like if you're not going to play anything, I think you just strip mine.
I'm agreeing. Like either you play the carroted here, in my opinion, or you just like
Strip mine 'em.
falsies here. Like
Yeah.
You know your opponent's like, yeah, we see it here. Take out the dual land.
I wouldn't be shocked if we see a cycle at some point on this Sweltering Suns too. It just
Yeah,
isn't a
this is
great
not the
matchup for
matchup
it.
where you wanted. Like, yeah, it's gonna kill maybe a couple of dorks.
You know,
That's
killed some
about it.
Manadorks, but you're probably just going to get him to Turek if they draw their land next turn.
Grafted
And do they draw the
Skull
land?
is the name of the card.
They evidently did not draw. Okay, they drew Crime Punishment. Crime Punishment's an interesting one in Sylvan Curated decks. I don't tend to like it as much in the Manadork builds, but okay, that was a good draw. That's a ramp spell. And then that card that we have in the far left is Primal Command, which is a powerful 5-drop. It's not one that sees a ton of play, but it's fine in ramp decks. It's good in ramp decks. Like if you basically treating it as a 2-mana spell, if your deck is able to make mana where it acts as a 2-mana spell, it's very powerful.
So in loading's position, do you want to him your opponent here or
Oh,
try
yeah.
to devote your own mana?
Yeah. Their mana's pretty good right now. I think I just want to him the crap out of them and get their 2 business cards. So now they're off the top of their deck. You got a Heartless Axe
Ooh,
in
hit
hand.
both of them.
Yep. It's good. I mean, honestly, if any hits in that hand, we're going to be pretty good. I mean, the Primal Command's probably the one you want to hit the least.
Exactly. Yeah.
This is pretty strong, though. Yep,
Not
that's a
bad.
strong
Not
pull.
bad.
That's
There's
very
no
good,
current
actually.
answer in hand, I guess.
Nope. Not one.
I suppose you can kill it when it turns into a creature and attacks you, or is he?
No, I believe it's
indestructible at that point?
indestructible. It's indestructible, I believe. All right, if we don't hit a land drop here, we're in some trouble. All right, we hit our land drop.
Let me check. Sure does become indestructible.
Yep, I'm positive he does. Yeah, like the only ones that really don't do that anymore, like the old ones, like Gideon Jura does not become
Gideon
indestructible.
Jura is the only one, I believe.
Yeah, and that was like one of the first ones that kind of had that ability, right, where it turns like directly into a creature.
The first one.
And then afterwards, they were like, "We're not going to make your 5-drop get killed by a Doomblade," because that's what happened to Gideon Jura quite a bit. It just died of Doomblades, and it felt bad. But it was a good control card. Kind of a moat. All right, of course, a Portal strong too. I mean, this is a card that also that like is not. I mean, like if you get up to mana, you can try to Crime Punishment it, but it's going to draw more cards, which is something that their deck wants. So
It's an interesting choice, I think, in that type of deck. Like, it's a non-proactive card, but it is definitely a way to use that quick Soul Ring mana efficiently.
yeah, and it's one of the issues that Red Green runs into is that it has very high card variability. Like like any of these 2 draw steps that were good from the top deck after they had their hand ripped apart could have been a Soul Ring, which is just not very good at that point, or a Rampant Growth, which we saw them cast earlier. So anytime you're able to kind of mitigate the card variability and draw gas like they're drawing now, like it's good. Because if you're drawing Soul Rings and Moxen and Mana Vaults at this point, like it kind of sucks because you just don't have anything to do with it. Which is one of the issues. I mean, that ramp has historically obviously run into. Not ramp, but like just RG, like decks that have higher card variability, like less, sleight of hands, ponders, and stuff like that can smooth that sort of thing out. All right, Karn. And I think we're seeing this game slip away at this point. That said, the Rock is a very powerful deck. Yeah, it's not looking great. I mean, we're taking a lot of damage here. We don't really have the right answers to the board.
Yeah, we have no answers for these two planeswalkers.
No, and the Rock is set up more to deal with like little creature decks, right? Like red deck wins. Like it's a lot harder to deal with medium-sized threats, like like the medium red threats, the medium green threats. Like just turn after turn after turn, they're very big, and like you have stuff like Abrupt Decay, Eliminate in your deck. And Eliminate does not kill 5-drops. Abrupt Decay does not kill 5-drops. So, or even Fatal Push. Like sometimes you don't have the ability to get up to a 4-drop with it because you don't have the fetch or whatever. Especially in 2-color where you have less fetches. Yeah, so it could be awkward. That Blood Moon could do some work. Although I do think because they're playing Mana Dorks, you could definitely see the birds be pretty relevant this game.
Yeah. Interestingly, the Wild Growth, I believe that's the name of the enchantment, does actually still perfectly fine work.
Yep, ABUR, Wild Growth.
I'm
curious.
Original
Magic card.
If you had, let's say, just a Tiger, and you threw the Wild Growth on that Tiger, and then you played the Block Moon, would the Wild Growth fall off then?
I have to read the card. Is it Enchant Forest? I forget on it.
It is, I believe.
If it says Enchant Forest, yes, it would fall off.
Roll is definitely Enchant Forest.
I don't believe Wild Growth is. I think Wild Growth can go on anything. I play old school. I don't know. I'm sorry, because people don't play that card a lot. But
me neither. No,
but yeah, I don't think it's.
I was thinking of Utopia's
Roll. Yeah, if it was Enchant Forest, yes, it would not be a forest. You could no longer enchant it legally. All right, Vraska, the Golgari Queen, which is quite uncastable. At a minimum, you do have access to Cling to Dust. I would try to Cling to Dust right now and try to hit the land off top. Get some card advantage. I don't think I would play from hand there initially. I would just exile my own Windswept Heath first, personally, because I don't in general think that that Cling to Dust is going to be great in this matchup. I mean, it can blank out a what's she called Clothes for a couple turns if they're running it. So other than that, like Cling to Dust is pretty bad in this matchup. It's just kind of It's just a cantrip. A lot of big stuff over there. Now they're in the debate if they want to muck their opponent's mana or they want to develop their own. They've opted to develop their own. I think that's a pretty good choice. They've got some very powerful things they can be doing with big mana here. The funny thing is, if their OP can hit in the next turn, they can't quite go to 4 with the Crime Punishment, which I think would be worth doing to blow up the board. Well, there's a Mind Twist. Unfortunately, it's going to be a turn late. And if we had clinged yet last turn, we probably would actually have the Mind Twist this turn and been able to knock out their whole hand. I think that kind of goes to show like the small stuff like that can really be important.
Yeah, this Pausaurus. It's going to be a big deal.
Yeah, no, and I mean, look, it's very punishing from the standpoint that that Cling to Dust should have been cast last turn. Like I'm like 95, 100% on it. Like you just, it's dog shit in this matchup. You cling your own land in your bin just to get deeper in the deck. Find a green source or a black source. But if you found this Mind Twist, which you would have by this point, and this is not like me post hoc rationalizing it. I was saying before, I think cling there is 100% correct.
Yeah.
You could have wiped their hand, and wiping their hand, pretty good because their hand is good. When they're casting their stuff. I don't like this line of play, though. I think you just go for a big idiot this turn. Can they even go? Yeah, they can go for a big idiot.
You do remove their green and black mana, leaving them with just mountains.
I just don't think that's a strong line of play. I think you put your big idiot down and kill them.
I think the rationality for Brahms is that now he knows the Mind Twist is on top, and he just does not want that to resolve.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Yeah, I think even more so now that you just had your
Paradise
about to be killed, clinging.
My thing, if I get, you should have clung, but I think they just F6 or something. But here's the thing, right? Like if you're mind twisting when I have 7 power on board, be my guest. Go ahead. You're not doing something relevant, because it's not really relevant at that point. And you get draw Prime Evil Titan, Damnation, uncastable. Yep, you see the 2-color deck getting mucked by the Blood Moon. That's one of the costs of the creature lands as well, is in the fetching early. Is that when you don't. And I think it's a good thing to take away from the game too. Like you do want to definitely like.
Yeah.
There's two reasons you want to fetch early. In this matchup, you want to do it because of Blood Moon, and then opposition agents also in the format.
Yeah, that's a card
it
that
reminds
really
me-
has been popping up more and more.
Yeah, you should play it. It's very good. When you're playing black, you should play opposition agent because it's that good. Like it really just is that good. It just mucks whole plans up.
Yeah,
It's
like
bad enough.
almost
think that the better Aristocrats builds are like low end, aggressive, but have the ounce to do that. But they don't commit like tons of card. They don't commit tons of card slots to like effects like Mortar Pod or something like that. Like, and they don't, they're just more low end.
Yeah,
And I think they're
you'll
pretty
play a
good.
Goblin Bombardment, and you'll be happy with it.
Yeah, Bombard is a fine card on its own. I mean, if you have 4 things on board, you can just pitch them and like it kills people. Like if it's the last thing you cast and they're already pretty much dead, you can shoot it on board.
With Aristocrats is that compared to like how powerful some of the other cards are, the synergies you get out of like having all these sack triggers and such.
It doesn't add up to Oko.
Really mediocre cards compared.
It doesn't add up to Okos. Yeah, it just doesn't add up to Okos
exactly.
and 6s. I mean, sometimes it does. Like, when you play against like Jeskai or like we even saw Wolfgang facing off against Goblins like a couple weeks back. I think I was hanging out with you guys, and like Mog War Marshal is a problem for the way most Blue X mid-control decks have their removal suite set up. It's set up to deal with it's set up to get 2-for-1s off its removal. So you have like Arc Trails and like Fork Bolts. And, like when you're Fork Bolting a Mog War Marshal, you do not feel good about it. Like it doesn't feel good. You're just like, okay, like I feel like I just cast Shock because they still have their 1/1. But it is what it is.
Yeah,
this feels like a reasonable trade to me.
Block here. So we are sacrificing the Hexdrinker here for Kaya.
For
Kaya, Kari 7.
Yeah, Kaya. Kaya, different color pie.
Potato tato,
Their K name. So yeah, the first strike will go on, and the 3/3 will eat the Kari Zev. They'll get 2 cards out of it though. They're at 8 in hand. I mean, honestly, I could see them just burning their OP out at this point.
Yeah, that definitely seems reasonable.
A lot of cards. Yeah. 1 price to progress gets them pretty close. Like it's only.
And Ravage is just one of those kind of cards that you're not gonna run out. And the same with Skull Clam. So this is like 2 Acrotechs that they're gonna have all the costs they are gonna need ever.
Yep.
Like Necro with 8 cards in hand, and Lucas just gonna. If they get to attack, they'll have a refill of up to 3 cards again.
Yeah.
So this is just a question of who have the most tempo.
I put Necro, unless they're on a really like heavy Kratz like engine card build of this deck, I'm probably closing this turn. Like if they're going to 10 cards, like they probably run every Searing Spear variant. They probably don't run the non-instant speed ones, but like they probably have access to those. There is 1 life gain available off the Deathrite Shaman based on having to tap a damage land, pain land essentially. Or cannon. Yeah.
But if that, I don't know if that token goes through on block, that's putting your stakes.
All right, we're vamping here, so we're vamping for what?
Curious.
Yeah, I mean, it could be just Fire Blast. Fire Blast would not be a bad way to close out the game.
I've been playing Fire Blast in. Like, Fire Blast is more or less, if you're not playing mono red,
you'd be shocked. Well, you'd be shocked because, like, honestly, in that deck, you have cards. Well, you have cards like that you have cards in this build that you can run. Like, I forget the devil's name, Mayhem Devil, I think. There's a lot of cards that like just care about back generally, and like you can make it a 6-point damage spell. So it's like it's not that bad. I've run it in that deck and been happy with it. Fire Blast is a hell of a card. Won a lot of games of Magic. So you could just play on quality alone, in my opinion. This is down to 5. They're essentially at 6. We don't know what they vamped for, but I assume it wins them the game right now. We shall see. All right. Mox Ruby doesn't win them the game right now. Yeah, there's Mayhem Devil. It actually does work with Fire Blast pretty well. Turns into a 6. It's actually any target, so you can like basically kill some of their creatures off and dome them. I guess you could kill their creatures with Fire Blast, but as Gosman will probably tell you, as a red deck wins player, and me as a long time like player of the game, like Fire Blasting creatures is generally not where you want to be. Generally not what it's about. I don't know if you found differently, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do. But
yeah, Fire Blast is definitely a card you want to be like finishing off with, unless you have like a bunch of patterns to play, preferably. But yes, agreed. Sometimes there's a questing beast in the way, and that has to die.
Yeah, sometimes you got to do it, but it like, never feels good.
It's one of the few options we still play that deals 4 damage at this point. Like we're off any of like the char effects. We usually don't play what is the one red Spell Mastery one? Chandras?
Yeah.
Exquisite Firecraft.
Yeah, Exquisite Firecraft.
Yes, that's the one.
All right, so here is the price of progress going for the 4 damage in response. This is actually why you can't activate the Deathrite on their EOT. It puts you in an awkward spot where you can't activate it. That's good. That's good for the game. Well played by Necro. I mean, I think it was. I think it was. Looking at it, I was like, yeah, they're gonna win this turn. Like the Skull Clamp is just too many cards.
Yeah,
the 10 cards in hand.
Actually, just guarantees the.
Yeah, you just know they got this probably this card. That's it. Like that's
I
just
do
it.
think
You're tapped.
while I'm still with you on the Vampire Tutors too many points, I do like it in this kind of style of list where you have like it's like still aggro, but getting Skullclamp in this list is just that bit better than it is in say generic mono red.
Yeah, no, there's nothing wrong with playing Vampiric Tutor. I mean, it's certainly better than Imperial Seal, although I do think both of them could just be 1-pointed cards. I don't think Imp Seal could ever go to 0,
Yeah.
but Vamp it 2 is just very difficult.
Yeah.
Like, when I run it in decks, I intentionally run it just because I'm playing with the card just to run it in a spread. I never put it in a spread where I'm like, my plan is to win. Like, I just think there's better options. Like, I'd rather play a Wishclaw Talisman, you know? Like, but,
Yeah, I'm not sure this is the kind of list I'd play a Wishclaw Talisman in, admittedly.
No, probably not. But if you have enough black creatures, you can just run Mausoleum Secrets, which is an unpointed tutor. It's actually quite good, but it needs to be in a very specific type of deck.
It needs to be in a very specific. It's basically dredge-ish, and that's about it.
It's pretty good Zui Black. Pretty good in that deck because you lose a lot of creatures, and if you're not losing creatures, they're dead. So it doesn't matter. That you
If
have
you're
a
not
card
losing creatures, they're dead.
Yeah,
Words
I
to
mean,
live by. Words to live by.
if your creatures aren't dying, they're dead. Like they're gonna die by turn 3 or 4. Like so it's like hey, like, if you want to kill my stuff, I'll find my best card. I'll find my Carevex, like kill you on turn 3 or 4 anyway. So. Well, good games to everyone. Do we have any more going, or are we jumping into?
Let's see, do we
No,
have a
that
last
was the
game?
last one.
Makes sense. Yeah, we've seen it.
Absolutely. So that's going to get us straight into the second round of the tournament. I'm just going to go over the pairings, not the pairings, the results while we get pairings going. Blahguy losing 2-0 to Evius. There was a bit of a technical error there we had to solve first. Brahms 2-1 against Loading. Necro 2-1 against Lucas, we just saw, and UnusualThunder 2-1 against Wolfgang, as we did also see as well. So,
Pairings are
round
up.
2 pairings. We have Blahguy against Loading. Brahms versus Necro, Luca versus WolfgangCloud, and UnusualThunder against Evius. So
Let's check out Evios and UnusualThunder.
Oh, saying Evios UnusualThunder? Yeah, I could get behind that as well.
Yeah, let's check that one out. Then we can switch over to Necro. I mean, like, I don't mind watching Necro either, but I don't think we saw any of Evi. Did we see Evios in the first round?
No.
No,
I don't think we did either. Right. Yeah, we did not. Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Evios and someone else we didn't see, I believe.
Yeah.
Who was that? I think Blahguy was the one they played against.
Yeah, Blahguy and
we have not seen this tournament.
Yeah, let's check it out. Let's check that out, and then we can switch off. I mean, if the matchup's not that interesting, or if if it finishes quick.
Luca pointing out here that a continuous failure of mine is my inability to think of Price of Progress as not a sorcery.
Yeah,
it's definitely a thing that happens. Like people just like. You just like wait for the control deck to tap out, and you just go.
There's
price.
Well, it's funny they mentioned it because like that sequence comes up a lot for me. Like there's times where like you just know they've got it, and you can't. You literally like have left open your Deathrite Shaman, and you can't activate it. So you like would have almost been better off activating it main phase, but you need to leave it back as a blocker. It can be awkward, right? It's Price of Progress, hell of a magic card. It's a hell of a pointed card. Hell of a magic card.
So we are getting the game going here.
Exquisite to
Firecraft. The UnusualThunder was on a blue-red moon deck. If I remember correctly from previous time we see them play it, I think they're actually comparatively heavy for what I've seen other blue-red moon players be on them out of non-basics.
I don't think they were on moon at all. Weren't they on like the 4-color like fire control deck?
We didn't see them play.
You're thinking of Stompy. You're thinking of Stompy.
They might be. I don't know what deck they're on. If they're on Blue Moon, cool. I mean, we just saw Blue Moon that had the Snowland and the what is it, Faceless Haven,
correct,
in play.
Right.
Which
that would be,
I'm not a fan of, but it's cool. I mean, like give it a roll. I think Blue Moon's mana. You want a lot of untapped lands. I mean, he has Red Mage too. That's what they play. I think that and TV, right? Is that what your general decks?
Yeah. I haven't liked Faceless Heaven enough. 3 Snow is a little tough, and they play more Snow basics than most in the deck. So
yeah,
the advantage of like particularly red base control, and YouTube will have to correct me if you disagree, is the fact that red removal. Yeah, sure, there's a lot of really good cheap black removal, but there's a limit to it. Whereas red, you're just playing one good red removal at one after the other.
Well, yeah, the reason red removal is better than black removal. I mean, it's deeper, but the reason that it's so much better is not really because of its depth. It's because of the fact that it generates vast virtual card advantage, in that you have pretty wide latitude and flexibility in playing it either as board control or clock. And when the red removal, when you have lightning bolt, which like we all know, lightning bolt, good magic card, not really anything controversial there. But the fact that it is able to do board control early and turn into a hill giant instant speed, hitting him in the face.
Okay,
Or whatever
okay, I'm gonna have to ask you here, Low Man. This is
Uh-huh.
a really hard choice. We see the turn 1 hex trigger here, and then
Yeah.
for the first 2 turns, he was just designing to just level it up and get a pro instant.
I like that.
immediately.
There's well, the maze of it's can be problematic, but I actually like that, because if this card does level up, there was no red mana shown on the board there. If this card gets to 3, it's very difficult to remove. Maze of Ith
But it
can
will
buy
get
some time.
bounced by a thing in the ice and play, notably.
Yeah, I mean, they have to flip it though, and if they don't cast spells, like
Correct.
half their cards don't do anything. Like it's like, well, this is a counter spell, so I don't mind jamming them there. I mean, and if you just play more creatures are going to get bounced. At this point, you're only going to lose a 1-drop, and then you can play on your Mana Gorge or Hydra post all that happening. Plus, you don't have a lot of mana right now, so it's like, you're kind of hoping to actually draw lands in the medium green build here.
You do have a couple of creatures in hand here that do generate mana. We have 7 Caribou in hand. We have what's the green 1 dog that you level up again called?
Garaga Tree Speaker.
Yeah, Garaga. Yeah,
Garaga
they're mana
Tree Speaker,
dorks, but I don't like playing them into this board state. Like, you just play them in and put your mana into them, and they're not doing damage. Like, this actually will kill the walker here. Or they could, I mean, they have to Maze of Ith it, but, like, they had to have that, right? So I kind of like that. I think it's pretty decent.
So I believe it is, 8+ to get pro everything? That might be a tad bit far off.
Yeah,
but with the amount of money we have right now.
I like putting the
3
Sylvan
turns?
Caryatid down and trying to look to maybe develop it in the next 2 turns. I mean, if you hit a Gaia's Cradle, you could do it next turn, maybe?
Yeah. I believe, that's exactly, because you have 3 men in play, and the Cradle has an additional 2.
Yeah, that puts you to 5, yeah. So if you hit the Cradle, you could just go ham on this thing, and what are they going to do about it? Blue Moon's not going to kill it. Like, Blue Moon struggles to death with True Name Nemesis. You're just like, what do I do about this? Like, I guess I have to race it in some way, shape, or form.
You counter it, is what you do. It's 3 mana. It's not that hard to
count. If you don't counter it, like if it hits the board, off Mox or something, you're just kind of like, oh no.
Yeah.
Like,
to be fair,
it happens.
To be fair to the deck, it is not deep. Like, there's a number of cards when you're playing Blue Moon that your plan has just to be, well, if that goes on the stack, it cannot resolve. And if it does, I'm just picking up my cards on the spot. And that's, that's an aspect of the deck. You build your deck in such a way that... You build your deck in such a way that those cards aren't resolving very often, and if you lose to them, that's fine.
Yeah, or even like Thrun, right? Like Thrun doesn't see a lot of play anymore, but Shifting Ceratop's another example. Like, you can kill a Shifting Ceratops. Thrun, you're just never going to kill. I've actually raced Thrun a decent number of times on Blue Moon. You just get an Iron Crag Pyromancer down tap and think a bunch of times.
What exactly Evis is going to come out here?
It looks like they're going to go for this. And I think you just toss a counter spell at it. I mean, you could just toss a burn spell at it. That should be good enough. I mean, unless you probably counter it. Do you want to play around a pump spell here? If you're on Unusual Thunder spot?
Or if you want to play around the weird old green flash creature.
Yeah. Well, a flash creature wouldn't do it because I think they have spell mastery, so that is a 3 damage spell.
That is true.
Yeah, but like if they just have giant growth, you're kind of just like, oh no.
Choosing to not play the tree spear here, just put a fire.
No, and choosing not to counter the Gorger. I guess they want to get their value off disallow, which is reasonable.
Yeah. Setting up the hex trigger here to probably be pro everything in the 6/6 next turn.
Yeah, it still gets bounced though.
Still does
so
get bounced.
I don't know if I'm into doing it at this point. Like, that thing's down to 2 counters.
I'd almost be tempted to just like straight up counter my own spell there.
You have Dak Fade. Your card quality is going to be good.
To do it.
I like killing the treetop village as well.
Yeah, I do like
getting that out of the way. Getting that thing out of the way is
get it on an island. Presumably. Yep.
Flame Slash can kill the stupid idiot.
It can. And actually, it's probably a good thing to kill because it's very easy to get down fast on the backswing. But I don't mind. I think I would probably DAC before I guess you could TC first, then DAC.
The advantage to both. Like, you get more choice for what to discard, but you also get more choice for what to delve. And I think if you have cards in a yard you want to keep there, that might be an argument for dying first.
None of their cards are that great in bin. Like, they have.
Yeah, exactly. So I kind of like treasure cruising first, personally.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. It's fine. They've not made their land drop yet, so they are going to have access to a Mystic Sanctuary if they are playing it and want it.
Yeah.
And this one, this one
also
looks
just
like it's
casting with,
going.
kind of spells in hand.
Yeah, this one looks like
I
it's
think
going.
this is
the
kind of
way
out of hand for.
yeah, it's not
use
winnable
at this
anymore.
point.
This is
The only way it's winnable is if it's Ancient Tomb into like Shifting Ceratop split card or Fuse card.
This is literally why I play Magic. Like, you're just sitting there. Your opponent is not gonna resolve a single relevant spell for the rest of the game, and now the game just is gonna continue for another 10 minutes, and it's awesome.
Let's be fair too. Like the real won this game. Like there's a couple of things. Maze of Ith was helpful. It was really mana advantage. Mana advantage what won this game. I think if their OP had drawn 2 more lands, very different game. Like
sure.
they got the time they needed, and that's what blue needs. And blue has control over variants to a much higher level because of Ponders, Preordains, blah 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 blah. And if your opponent, not having access to those effects, doesn't draw the lands they need, then they can be put into some bad spots. I mean, this is just going to get counterspelled with a.
If you truly want to have a deck that just has access to whatever kind of wards at any point, you just play blue-black.
Yeah.
Blue.
Yeah. That's why I was talking about Aussie Lander earlier. It's like blue-black tends to be pretty strong. Like blue X decks tend to be pretty strong because they have they have easier times getting access to their sideboard cards.
So look in this matchup here of a blue-red control, like so say medium, like a mid-range aggro aggressive green deck. Which seat would you want to be in if it was you low man here? Just
playing this matchup. I think Blue Moon is favored, but it's not. This hand looks like terrible though. It has no blue mana. Okay, well we kept this. It's the world we live in now.
It does. It has the Jwari Disruption. That's blue mana.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't think that's a playable card, but that's fair.
I mean, I agree, but it is blue mana.
Yeah. I hate that card. I didn't recognize it as a land, but yeah. Oh god, no. Play Censor. It's so much better.
I mean, I don't play either.
I do. I play Censor some of the time. Depends on what the meta looks like, but I like Censor better. It's just cheap cycler. It feels the bin.
I think that's a big difference from like standard, where you like it's never free to play like Jwari Disruption as a
now.
land. Like,
Censor's good, actively very good in blue white. If you're on Miracles, like it's very good in that deck.
Yeah. Being able to just
it's not great. It's not great in Blue Moon, I don't think. But sometimes I will run it if I am against a lot of. If I know I'm going to play against a lot of tap out decks, I'm just like, it's fine. It's 2 mana counter, which you always want more of those.
But yeah, my reasoning for Jwari Disruption was simply, I think this card is worse than Censor, and I'm already not playing Censor. So
it is worse than Censor. Yes. Arkham's Astrolabe, Don't see that one in this format very often.
No, not.
That is interesting.
It buffs up the Frostbite. It buffs up the Frostbite. Now, Walker just hit. So that right there, here's the thing, right? Like, you got to stop them on mana early. I think that you should have played your red land first and just... I like getting out the thing, and the thing is very good in this matchup. But I feel like this Walker is possibly going to run away with the game. And at any point, if their OP hits a fight spell and kills off this thing, you're kind of in a world of hurt. And they have a flash critter in hand. Medium greens on those decks, you don't want to let their spell rolling.
Would you 2-for-1 yourself to kill a Vivian?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Walkers are a big problem. You don't want Walkers to
can't actually kill or hit a Planeswalker. So we can hit a Planeswalker with the Frostbite and then with a Lightning Bolt here.
Yep.
I think that's a perfectly reasonable line of play, and just do it on your turn and take the prize.
Sure. Yeah. You don't. I mean, you could also be wanting
and then
to.
You have Thing in the Ice to bounce everything on the following turn.
You could be wanting to use the Thing to kill the Vivian, which is greedier, but it's also reasonable.
Yeah, it's definitely not unreasonable by any means.
Yeah, I mean, Thing is a 7-power attacker. It's one of the better cards in this matchup. I think in general, if you don't have access to your Thing or Young Pyromancer, which are both cards that, in my opinion, help stabilize against these style of decks early, against their early initial onslaught. Young Pyromancer just makes a lot of blockers. Thing in the Ice just bounces a lot of attackers and also attacks for a significant bit. If you're not able to get those, or if they die early, you can be in some trouble, because at the end of the day, Blue Moon is looking to 1-for-1 and then get a many-for-1 off Treasure Cruise, Ancestral Recall, whatever it might be, Dig Through Time. Sometimes Factor Fiction. Factor Fiction is still fine in the deck. But it's really just a boatload of 1-for-1 answers, answer cards. So, like, if you don't have the style of many-for-1 answer, like Thing in the Ice or Pyromancer, you could be put in a bad spot by these decks because all that these medium style decks are looking to do is just kind of like what I call the bomb train, where like if your mana works, if you have good mana early and you have good mana progression, you're going to draw good stuff. You're just going to draw these cards that were made in the last 5 years that are big, like just big, and like they don't die to red removal very easily, and you have to counter them every single turn. And eventually, there's less counter spells that are good than there are just good proactive Magic cards. So
Do you
you'll run
deprive
out.
these?
Yeah.
They
I think
kinda
you just
awkward.
need to. I mean, you don't have to deprive it. You can kill something on board, which would be perfectly reasonable. I wouldn't actually mind killing the mana dorks over killing this because you can bounce this later and it doesn't block or attack if there's not enough power on the board.
I think my line of play would actually be. Oh, we don't have enough cards in the yard, do we? I could have seen just bolt. On
Yeah,
Vivian
that's
here,
what I
but
like
they
to do is
just don't
kill.
activate it already.
I actually don't
And
like
then-
killing the Vivian. I like killing the dorks because it kills their mana.
I'm trying to think. Could we Yeah, then we could Fable Patches next turn and then just like Treasure Cruise and swing.
Mana dorks are really good at casting when you have your whole board bounced, and they redevelop your
true.
mana very fast. So if you kill them, then it means you're playing through a funnel at that point, and you're not playing multiple threats a turn, multiple blockers, and Thing in the Ice can become the Abyss because it gets a couple hits in, and they're at a low enough life total that everything has to block it.
Yeah, it
so
is worth mentioning that you can also just do the same thing the turn after you bounce everything with Thing in the Ice. Because you bounce everything, then you play them, you kill your dorks,
yes,
and then...
You do, but I think you can use your life as a resource a little more aggressively here personally and go a little lower because they're not playing red. And I would rather do that on that turn and then just sit on the deprive.
Yeah, so I
'cause
think
we
we
still
could
won't
see
have
a Creature Flashed in here in a turn.
Sure, yeah, we could. And they're not enough cards. Yeah, they still have a land drop this turn. They do, so they can Fable Passage, putting them to 5 cards in bin. They are 1 card short of Treasure Cruising, so
Yeah.
I believe they still have.
Yeah,
a land
this is
drop.
going to be Choo all about the horror terrain.
Yeah.
And that is
we
2
go.
pain lands in play, so that's going to like make the clock even easier to get.
Yeah.
Like attack past the mage will also just help you like cast the bolt again. Like
Chip damage can matter against blue-red. It depends on how it's built. Like if you have more of the 3/1 flyers, flash flyer threats, it can matter a little more. The bolt's already out of the deck.
I mean, what I'm trying to say here is that if this horror hits once more, you're really limited on your mana.
Then your mana is limited for sure. You can't.
It's a double stone drain at that point.
Exactly. Do we
can't tap it.
Or do we pump it here instead? Interesting.
They did.
I do like that.
I want to attack them. Yeah. They got a blocker, so they got a blocker. Actually, that was a pretty solid draw. I mean, look, I'm probably not down to take a crack back on that thing. So they're going to attack. I think they're dead now. Actually, they can disallow. They can disallow the trigger. They can disallow the trigger.
They can disallow whatever gets cast also because the thing
they
only has
could, but I think the right play would be to allow whatever's cast to get cast, then disallow the trigger to tie them up on mana. Personally, we know they have 3
do
one
pay
drops.
after the trigger resolves. As a
We know-
trigger resolves.
Well,
So
we
you
know they
can't- you
have
to
3
do
1
it
drops.
now,
Yeah.
because otherwise
well,
you're just dead here.
Oh, of course. Yeah, you have to pay it. You have to pay it now.
Are we just paying 1? Oh, we're not trying to go for the win here.
Interesting.
I think he was here to tap it afraid of like what like say a removal spell or a bounce spell here will mean for them.
Brazen Borrower is a disaster if it happens there.
Suddenly you're within the horror killing a range.
Yeah, but you're not winning anyways if you're not going for it.
Exactly, I agree with you 100% on that.
Yeah, and we know
Like
they
here,
had 1 drop, so
I
like
would just
countering it there.
Like bounce both, draw a card, try and cast something. Good luck. You're the one.
Yeah, we're gonna see Mystic Confluence get the game here. I think it's gonna.
Yeah, I would have loved to see that bouncing it before even just attacking. That way you force them to flash in your creature. And
what creature are they gonna flash in? The one that's tapped.
The Wildborn. Like you.
Okay.
I guess you could even choose to not blink the Wildborn, but that just leaves you dead.
They should not do it right now. They should see if they can get their opponent to tap out to put counters on the
I was arguing, and that might be incorrect, that last turn, if you bounce both creatures and draw a card, sure. Then they have to cast it and take 2 and jump block.
Why not just try to like kill them? Like I would rather just get rid of the blockers with Awoken Horror and like do it when they have used their mana up on their turn during pre-combat or during pre-combat main to buff the whatever it is, this 5/5 into kill range or whatever they're going to do with it. And if they don't, then you bounce it. But I mean, they're probably just going to attack with it. But I kind of like setting up just to bounce all of their irrelevant stuff that is blocking you and put them, if they've used their mana poorly, to a point where they can't recast their flash threat, and you can
What
just
they
attack them for
could
lethal.
have done here, but didn't do, was play the Thrashing President and then flash in the 2/2.
Yeah. Now they're going to lose because they didn't flash in an EOT and they gave their opponent their mana back. So they're going to use that that land that does 1 damage and exiles the Noble Hierarch. They shouldn't even cast this. They should just try to win here. Don't even worry about it. The worst thing you could have happen is not be able to cast your get tied up on mana. Because you don't have a land drop, so why are you digging here? Okay, it's
Yeah, like, was that a tap land this turned the island?
No, they just used they pondered and they pondered in Treasure Cruise. They had the kill in hands. It's just like just
yeah, no, I agree. I just field attack for one.
Yeah,
you gotta do your quests, so you have some few extra spells before you hit your opponent.
Fair enough. Yeah, I was just like, well, more can go wrong that way because like it just gives you less flexibility in how you can use your mana. Because maybe you want to leave Remand up for another flash threat because there could be another flash threat, right? It's a possibility.
Possible, yes.
Yeah, I mean it's not as likely, but it's possible. Like there are flash threats at 2 mana and green.
Besides Wild Bombers, of course.
What's the one that would be a complete disaster? What's the fairy? Is Scrib Ranger, the protection from blue?
Oh 1/1? Yeah, that'd be a big deal. But
that would have Skylasher.
Can it be countered?
Skylasher does not have protection from blue, though, right?
It does. Flash can be countered, reach protection from blue.
Yeah. So I mean, you can have that. You're probably not playing that, but the fairy's not that bad because it actually can ramp you. You can do some cool ramp stuff with mana dorks, and it's just techie. Just techie against certain blue cards, like Thing of the Ice. Very good against Thing of the Ice. You're just like,
either way, Evius is going to 1 here. Only one of the lands actually taps for green and 1 taps for colorless. The rest just kills them.
Yeah, I mean, Uriel Bee Sting. You got a Bee Sting in the deck. You gotta pull that one.
We're just gonna take the honorable way out here. It seems. Oh, we're gonna draw a card and see if we find something.
I would try to fight this out. You still have options here. I mean, probably not doing it like this, but you probably have to. But you had options there. I mean, like you do have things you can draw.
You would draw like a 1-drop here.
A shifting Ceratops and just murder them. Yeah, I mean, like.
Well, you didn't really have the mana for the shifting Ceratops.
No, he's at 1. Yeah, he's at 1. He couldn't have done it. But you know what I mean? Like, there's just probably something in there. Vengevine. I don't get Vengevine mana either. Yeah, the Uriel Bee Sting was the Uriel Bee Sting. Do you have that one in the boot? Red Mage. That's a good card right there.
What is the 1 mana green haster with Echo?
I don't know. I don't know that card.
What is that one called again? It's like flying and everything. It's like real. It's like full on planner.
Unyaro Bee Sting. Look at that magic card. Unyaro Bee Sting. 4 mana. Does 2 damage to target creature or player. Oh yeah. Look at that guy. They don't make them like that anymore. Direct damage in green. Home Mirage block.
Oh boy.
Hornet Sting. There you go. That was more recent. That was M11.
Yeah, that's M11. Like.
Yeah, they redid it. I mean, I think it's the Stings, yeah, right?
Was that both games?
I have the card I'm referring to here. Uktabi Drake. It's from time to time.
Uktabi Drake? Okay, I don't know Uktabi Drake.
So it's a 2/1 flying haste with Echo, 1 green for 1 green.
Okay.
It's basically, I guess this is the closest you get to like lightning elementals and such.
Okay. I mean, you have Groundbreaker from
yeah, Groundbreaker. That is the actual...
Guys, what do we got to watch?
Whatever you want. Yeah, I'm down with whatever.
Let's go take a look at Necro, actually.
Necropotence match.
Necro, yeah, let's do Necro's game. Yeah, sure.
Is they still going? Did not get to feature them too much.
Okay.
So we do have Necro on their Black Wreck deck here, and we have Brahms, who we also saw a lot of in the first round.
Not looking good for Necro. Just gonna say that. Mana Crypt early. Oh, Inferno Titan. Inferno Titan. Oh no, this is not feeling good.
That is indeed Inferno Titan.
Yeah. Inferno Titan. Big lad. I love that card. I used to play that in Blue Moon. Like when you could get away with it. You can't get away with it now, but.
No, I think we've been way past that point.
Oh, for a while, yeah, but it's just a fun card. It just kills everything. It's a Wrath of God, basically.
Yeah, it's a Wrath of God that attacks for 9. It's great.
Yeah, it kills people and it just wipes their board. Yeah, my arc trail or my arc lightning every turn.
Yeah,
gonna have a tough time against these Kratz cards. Anyway,
that's one of those cards we were talking about. One of those cards that, like, on its own, it's a 1/2 and a 1/1, which I mean, it's above stats, like above D2 to bear line, but
I don't think any volume of creatures does well versus Inferno type.
no,
Creature
usually they
3.
don't.
I mean, you could have
Well,
like
at least any volume of small creatures.
yeah. Well, there's a few bad ones that are like black white.
Give me a
like,
Grave
is it
Tide
Lord
against
Top
someone's
something?
Veritile, and I'll take that trait.
Yeah. Well, I mean, a Grave Tide on turn 3 is pretty good too. They both kind of do similar things.
Pretty reasonable, yeah.
They both do similar things to game states when they're early. It seems like a very reasonable attack here. Seems like a very reasonable attack.
I would argue it's a very unreasonable attack, as you should not have this much mana very early.
Yeah, I mean, that's
one
of the things I was like chatting with a newer player about in the format. I was like, well, like, look, like Canadian Highlander can be very swingy.
So
it's a format where
9, 15
they're not quite dead.
points of trampling.
They're gonna get to
16
block.
points of trampling damage here if you want
They're gonna
to,
get to. Yeah, they should ultimate the Garrick on their board.
17.
Yes, that would probably be
17.
enough.
We're not quite there. We're close. I don't really tend to just like literally just all the Garrick, kill off like 2
Is it
creatures.
enough? So it's like, all right, so it's +2 on Inferno Titan with you tapping the mountain and the Sylvan Caryatid.
Oh, you didn't
the
have
mount was tapped. The mount was
you did not have the untap mountain due to the fact that
Yeah, the
called
Sylvan
Garrick.
Caryatid. 7, 4, 3 to 7, 3 to 10. So you have 7, 10, 17 plus 3 additional damage. You can't clear the last blocker. That's the problem we have. So the last blocker is going to block you. But yeah, it doesn't really matter.
It's like a point where you can put them at like 2 or something.
Yeah, I appreciate Necro fighting.
I feel like that's perfect.
All right. They're finally like, all right, I'm good. Like Fire Covenant was probably your only out, and that's like a lot of damage to take.
Oh god, Fire Covenant. Oh boy.
You do it there. You
do it.
Okay, that was game.
So
sorry, Necro. We only got the tail end, and it was a pretty brutal ending. Oof.
It definitely was.
Pretty brutal game. Mana Crypt P good magic card.
Mana Crypt, 4 points for a reason.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
I mean, it was once 3 points, but then it turned out that these medium decks, not quite. What like?
Well, it's just more printings. More printings at like red and green too have come out, and it's just there's just enough that you can have like very reasonable turn 1 plays off of them that are game breaking.
Yeah, like Tireless Tracker.
Yeah, well, not even Tireless. I just think Goblin Rabble Master on turn 1.
And
Rabble Master on turn 1 is just a game ending. Like it's just like if you don't have shock.
The new Rabble Master again called?
There's the mentor one. I forget its name.
Yeah, mentor one. War something.
There's Krenko, which is fine. I like Krenko the least of them, but it's fine. It's But yeah, there's a lot of good 3 and 4 drops in red and green. Red pretty specific. I believe
it's something War Plus. Now that I think about it.
What's that?
I believe it's War Plus something.
Yeah, Legion War Boss is the name of the card.
Yeah, that is.
Right.
That was the name.
You're right. Yeah, then Krenko. I forget Krenko's moniker. Like he's got so many cards now.
Yeah.
But yeah,
we didn't see loading really get to do his thing in the first.
No, they're doing their thing. Here,
on the other hand.
Yeah. Yep, they're doing their thing.
Doing his thing.
Yep. Cabal.
Just have these planeswalkers just grinding value out.
The one thing I see, like when I look at these decks, I'm like, man, like you can run more basics.
Yeah, I'm also looking at maps. I'm like
Cabal Pit. I'm like, you don't need Cabal Pit. You don't need that.
We're playing Reflecting Pool in 2.
I love it. I love a Cabal Pit, and I love Volrath Stronghold, but like, I don't know. I just feel like, yeah, like you just die to this. There you go. The game's over. The game just ended. We're talking. How poignant was that?
Yeah, we were like, yeah. This is great. This is card called Price of Progress. Never mind.
No, but like we're talking about basic lands. We're talking about basic lands. It's like, yeah, it's like this is like that's a cost, right? Like, that's why you don't play Cabal Pit when you don't need to.
Yeah, people sometimes forget the hidden line of Game 2 life when people cast Price of Progress.
That was a savage way to lose. It was so timely though. It's just like, you know what? Like sometimes, like like I feel bad for loading. So it's like you hate dying to price twice in a tournament, but like it's a real card. It's a point. Also a point for. There's Krenko, 10 Street Kingpin. That's his name. You know, a card doesn't see enough play is a 10 Street Hooligan. I like that card quite a bit.
No, wait. I think that was in game 3. We have another game to go in this match. Never mind.
Oh, cool. Okay, cool. Let's check.
It was like we just logged in and nobody was.
All right. So, all right. Okay, this one. Okay, so Luca, Wolfgang, Red Deck wins versus. What is Luca on? Luca tends to change.
John, we actually have 2 people who've been piloting the respective versions of John Aggro. Luca and Blahguy has moved over to a John shell from his Rakdos.
Okay.
Interestingly enough. And they do seem to have some differences. I remember Blahguy, for example, runs more pump spells, which we don't really see from Luca. I don't really remember what Luca runs more of. I think Luca runs a bit bigger, like more grindy, slower list, if I remember correctly. Which makes sense when you're not on the pump spell plan.
Well, they certainly have some pump spells because there's one in hand. It does not have the right. I'm gonna say they don't have the right art, but yeah, it's good enough. It'll play. I don't really care about the art. I don't really care about the art. I'm just so used to the old art. I love the old art on that card. It's the old bad art so good on that card.
Yeah, with the guy that seems to have just now figured out that it is possible to hold 2 swords. It's just going ham.
Mostly he's got more going on with him than that, but yeah, he's having some issues.
He looks more scared than berserking, really.
Yeah, he's like, I'm gonna die after this happens. Like I'm done. Like I'm not coming to the victory line. There's no feast for me after this. Oh, although I mean that art probably would have been better. Like if you have Blaze of Glory, now that poor dude, that dude's just like, it's where White kind of got a little bit screwed over in the early game. He got Blaze of Glory over Berserk.
We see the Goblin Guy walls here.
Yeah. Be interesting to see. Like, I just think Red Deck wins going to be just. Look, if you're going to be an aggressive deck, I think there's some benefit to playing more colors.
Yeah,
but I think that benefit tends to be the mid-range cards you get.
Exactly.
You know?
Like when you're going aggro, like yeah, sure. Like there was a point where going multicolored aggro, like green red, for example. Did give you some noticeable advantages in like some forms of aggro. But I think at this point, if you're going for a multicolored aggro deck, you want to go slightly bigger usually, or have some additional avenue of attack or something. Like whether that be like recursion from black or something.
Sure, like Judith, like is really good.
Yeah, exactly.
Rotting Regisaur is just massive. Like black has great 3-drops. Like they're really big. Like has some just big dudes at 3. That's I've played Sui v Red Deck wins. It's normally not a great matchup, but like if you win it, it's normally off the back of like fast mana and 3-drops.
And you do just become an aggro deck that does get hit hard by a Price of Progress that you may or may not even be playing already.
Well, and not even just that. Like I mean, like Price of Progress just hits you hard, but it's like more like if I'm going to play a lot of 1 and 2 drops, I don't also want to have to fight my mana. Like I want to open on a hand. Like you saw the hand we saw Wolfgang open on. It looked great. It had 2 mountains or 3 mountains and some red cards. You're like, yep, keep. Like it's just your hands are just so much more consistent. You're not mulling as much. You still mull on Red Deck wins, but like not as often.
Absolutely.
Like mana consistency is big for me. I think it's a big sell. That's one of the merits to Red Deck.
That said, you do end up playing these Seal of Fires, and you just sit there like, why am I playing this mediocre shuck?
Oh, Seal of Fire is great.
Seal of Fire is great. I love my Seal of Fires. Please,
buffs their Tarmogoyfs. Buffs their Tarmogoyfs up there.
Oh no!
Makes their Goyf.
Goyf is like the best hate card against Red Deck wins in the format.
I 100% believe you should actually just kill the Sergo here.
Yeah, can it block anything?
I think you want to get the cards on the area.
Yeah, I can block
for
the
sure.
Sure, yeah, you kill it. I don't mind it. I like keeping the board empty.
Fire Blast in hand, you just want to get it. There's an argument.
We kind of know from their hand that they don't have 1 mana removal, because I don't think they would have allowed the Bomat Courier to go this long if they had 1 mana removal. And we know they had the Abrade, but like I like just keeping the board open. And if they're casting an Abrade next turn, are they really winning the game?
Nope.
Like if they're casting Abrade and playing out
I'm not sure why the Cackler didn't come down as a 1/1.
Yeah, I mean it could have. Yeah, that would be reasonable.
Or at least a 2/2. Like, is there something I'm missing here? Like,
well, if it's I don't know. Maybe they want to berserk one of the opponent's dudes. So
I think so. I think that's the game plan.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of what you're.
But that has to be done.
Oh, they're gonna kill the Bomat Courier with it. Okay. I mean, you're
good old ping for 1, take 1.
I mean, all they have to do is hit for 4 more, and the game's over. It's like the
like this is 6, 4 in hand. That's sorry. It's
that's the big trade-off to more colors.
I forgot the electronic tomato. Yeah, we do have that piece of art available at all times now.
Yeah. It's kind of bizarre art. I never really looked at it.
Specifically the good old 1 mana electronic tomato is a one. It doesn't even have a power toughness. It's just an invention creation.
Yeah.
The first Blackberries Express releases tomato attacks.
Here's a game-based question: do you think this comes in on the leash, or it's off the leash? All right, the game might end. Are they attacking? Get in there with your guide.
I think the problem is that if you don't play this as a 2/2, I don't think you're attacking guide here.
That's game. The game just ended.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Go ahead.
Oh, I didn't have to
I'm
tell you.
attached to hide on stream because I can't really watch the direct games specifically.
Yeah. I'm actually on stream. It hasn't lagged a lot.
Why am I behind on stream?
Yeah, it depends on where you're at. Sometimes I don't.
I'm blaming the fact that I'm a mod. I don't know how that changes anything, but I'm blaming that.
I sometimes have the same issue. I've been pretty fortunate today. It's been not very laggy. Yep, there we go. Fire Blast games. Games magic. Yep. Fire Blast and Price of Progress. Still doing it. They've aged well.
They have Price of Progress especially.
Yeah, well, more duels come out. I mean, people want to have great mana.
Yeah, when we got fetches, that just made mana bases even more consistently be able to play the non-basics.
Yeah. So we got anyone else going, Red Mage?
That was it. We watched all 4 matches this week. This match actually.
Yeah, we're doing some speed rounds through Magic.
And we didn't hit any of the slower matches.
A lot of aggressive decks
here after all. So
yeah, we haven't done Bailite today. Yeah, we haven't checked out Bailite.
Yeah,
we should do that next. We can. Is he winning right now?
He won last week for sure.
Well, no, I meant today. Is he to be top seed?
He's not here today, so that's why.
No, he's
here. Okay, fair enough.
So we're just gonna go through our usual mid-tournament announcements while we get our next set of pairings going for round 3. If you're interested in Canadian Highlander and want to talk about it with people, we have a Discord where you can talk about everything Canadian Highlander. It's a great place to learn about new tournaments coming out. We have ones both on Sundays like these, as well as Saturday events run by Lowman.
Yep.
We also have, on Cockatrice, correct. And then we have our website where you can find information about our tournament specifically and about us, if you want to know more about us. If you're interested, we have, I'm not sure if that's been updated yet, correct me, Red Mage, but the next event.
It absolutely is up, yes. I put it up before we started. Yeah.
If you want to join our next event here next Sunday, around the same time, that is the link you want to be using. And if you're interested in supporting us, a subscription is a great way to do that. And if you have a Twitch Prime lying around, send it to someone. We'd be more than happy to have it. But you know what? Someone should have it. It's just, it's just getting more value out of your money in the end. With all that out of the way, let's get some more powerful magic going.
Yeah, let's get it going. Let's go after it. We've had some fast magic here.
We're about to be.
Jackie, are you playing today? Oh, I see Jackie in the chat. It's probably from a while back. Jackie, I'm surprised we're not seeing you today. Jackie would have given us a Library of Alexandria deck or something, like a control deck.
Seems about right.
Yeah. That's been the trend so far. Yeah. Round 3 is up.
This meta might be a little bit hostile to Library of Alexandria deck.
So let's see who we have. We have Blahguy versus Wolfgang. We did see Luca versus Wolfgang before, and this would be a similar matchup. We have Luca versus Loading, which is an Aggro deck versus a Rock deck.
Let's give Loading some more. Let's give Loading a little more camera time. Then we'll change that. No.
I would prefer if we watch UnusualThunder versus Brahms because that's the
they're the undefeated. Okay, yeah, I got you. All right, fair enough.
That would be, I think, where I would go. Okay.
Fair enough. Felt bad for Loading. We jump into their deck like, oh, they're winning. Boom. These mana bases, you need to play more basics. Boom. Fucking Price of Progress.
It is indeed the price you pay for the progress of mana bases.
We need more Price of Glory. We need more Price of Glory, played in the format.
How many cards have price in the name?
I don't know. Price of Glory is my favorite price card.
Ultimate price. You mentioned price of Glory.
7 cards.
7 cards, yeah. Price of Fame and Price of Knowledge.
Price of Betrayal is that weird fog from War of the Spark.
What about Prized Amalgam? That's
No,
pretty close.
it's the remove by counters from a permanent.
Oh
Or
yeah,
less.
I'm thinking
Attack if
of
you're playing
Gideon's
here.
Sacrifice.
Or even opponent. What else do we have? We have surprisingly a lot of these are actually from either originally or at some point from Ravnica.
Yeah.
3 out of the 7.
Ravnica big into giving
Makes
prices to
sense.
things.
Yeah, the capitalist economy, you know.
They all Orzhov cards.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I mean, Price of Fame is the mirror for sure. Ultimate Price, I'm not sure what the original art shows.
Ultimate Price is just some dude.
It looks like
goozled,
some. It actually does look like yeah. It has.
It's an Orzhov guard getting killed. It's not clear.
No, isn't also assassin killing someone as well.
Yeah.
Oh.
So yeah, that's technically one of them is technically not.
One of them does have a dude that's holding a purse, I think. So I think it's the alternate art.
That would be the old art, I believe.
Yeah,
of, Ultimate Price.
Ultimate Price, yeah, it does have
which
a guy with a little purse.
Is in the purse, but it's actually someone's head in the back.
Oh, okay. Well, that's I was trying to be optimistic, you know. All right, game's underway.
Sorry.
Oh, channel hand. Channel hand. Ooh, that could be fun.
Channel me, daddy.
Yeah. I mean, they're going to channel to the fences next turn, and they don't get counterspell, but they're going to get Jawari Disruption to this turn. Oh, gotcha. That's gotta feel good to get a Jawari Disruption off.
Do you think we run any sort of like Eldrazi in Brahms' list?
I mean, if you're running channel, yes, you run them. You probably even a Blightsteel Colossus. It's just like get got.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you probably do.
Because we can technically tutor for one of them.
What is the card on the far left there
of
their hand of
we have Ewit, Hunmaster, Garruk, Channel.
No, their hand I got down to Pat. The other hand.
It's I can't
Graven
Lore, I believe.
Graven Lore.
Graven
Wow,
Lore?
that's
Is it a foretell
that's
card?
a card that
is a card I don't think you should be playing in this format whatsoever.
What does it do? Can someone
5 mana instant? Essentially, it's scry 5, then draw 3.
Oh, okay.
No, that's not correct.
Yeah, you do some Zdo stuff, but
is the amount of snow you pay, so it's actually even less.
Yeah, you scry 5 and then draw 3. If you're putting that card on the stack, probably you have first snow.
The thing is, a card like Factor Fiction or like something are still already like fine.
Yeah,
about to draw.
Factor Fiction is one that I actually stopped playing in Blue White. I still play it in Blue Moon because I don't think you have as many options for. I actually replaced it in Blue White with Predict and Foreshadow because I found that I could build that deck Blue White in a way where I had a lot of top control of my opponent's deck and my own deck with effects like Set Adrift. You have a lot of control of your own top deck, but their top deck, you have Set Adrift, Unexpectedly Absent. You have Azorius Charm, quite a few Jace, obviously, but once you have a Jace down and you're casting draw spells, you're probably winning really hard.
True, but that's true for any blue deck, more or less, any control deck.
Once you have Jace and untap and you're casting draw spells, you're winning really hard.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's quite a bit of top manip in Blue White, Blue Red a little bit less, so I didn't get off the.
Brown still needs a Green Souls here to. And that's the Green Souls. So we could just try and go for the channel now.
I mean, you're getting counterspelled here, right? Like, I mean, like you're 100% getting counterspelled here. Like, I would not expect to not get counterspelled here. I mean, you probably just throw it out there to get it countered because it's actually better to have this countered than your threats at this point.
Oh, agreed. I think that's a fine. Depending if you're in Unusual Thunder's place and you think, oh, my opponent doesn't have any colorless cards beyond like maybe one.
Well, Skyshroud Claim is actually with channel active. It's a 1 mana, put 2 lands into play, untapped.
It's mana fixing.
Yeah, I believe they come in untapped off Skyshroud Claim.
Yes, they do. Yeah, they do indeed. Yeah. Otherwise, I think this would have been a pretty poor decision.
Yeah, go for the Skyshroud, and there's no counterspells up now, and they're not casting their 5 mana draw card. So this is
then you cast 3 wizards afterwards.
Yep, and then you have pretty much infinite mana on the next turn. I mean, you killed your Grim Monolith, but you went back up. 3 visits, probably fetching up Stomping Ground or the...
Stomping Ground makes a lot of sense. You don't need untap mana currently.
If you have a Tri-Land, maybe, but I don't... If they have a Tri-Land, they probably leave it in deck to draw off of it. Alrighty. That's a lot of mana, and there's not a lot of counter spells in hand. There's a Snapcaster, which does a thing.
That's about it, yeah. a lot of lands, and it's amazing if can't just say if you have a big bunker.
I mean, now if you do get one turn off, this 5-mana draw spell will probably put you in the driver's seat very firmly.
But that's the thing. I'm not gonna expect my opponent to give me a turn consistently.
Yeah, no, that's why I don't like fact
That's the problem I find with 5-mana cards.
Yep. If they have to win the game,
Yeah, I think they have to usually be. Actually, I think the bigger a card is, the more proactive it kind of has to be in general. I find.
What do you like leading on here? Yeah, for sure.
I don't mind the Courser was the line of thought here.
Yeah.
Because I can find a land and then I can E-wit something.
They can just get a land with the E-wit and shuffle this away. They don't want to draw this if they have a fetch and bin.
I am countering this E-wit for what it's worth. If I am,
I think the only other option was really get the Woodland Bellower here and try and find something. I'm not sure what you would find.
Yeah.
The go-to would probably be what is the
here's an alternate take.
Against do anything.
Since I've decided to include this 5-mana draw spell, I'm just going to cast this 5-mana draw spell. E-wit is just 2 more power. It doesn't do anything this turn.
Yeah, and like you
since I decided to include this. I would rather not have that card in my deck, but like if it's in my deck at this point, like that's only 2 more power. Like I'm just going to go for the 5-mana.
You could also snap off. Like, it's a little bit more efficient, baby.
Like what are they going to get back from the yard? They get back channel? Sure.
No, just it looks like a Sky Shroud Blade.
Whatever, who cares? That's
mana.
Just mana.
Yep. All right, here comes the 5-mana draw spell.
Yeah.
What do we get?
Do you want to scry one more, or do you want to kill the witness?
I take all the scries I can get here. I would take all the scries. The witness isn't a problem. I mean, the problem's the Courser. It's a card engine.
They're only keeping 1 card, I believe, off of the 5.
Yep, you want some pretty specific stuff, I think.
Yeah,
Dig's not a bad one to find.
I guess Blood
Dig for time, mana not that great, but it's probably still going to be useful for the next couple turns, considering how many cards your opponent has in hand.
Yep.
And then we have the pure value Mystic Confluence. Like, this is the thing. If I'm playing a 5-mana instant in blue, I'm playing Mystic Confluence.
I mean, he's also playing Mystic Confluence. I agree, I'm not playing anything else that costs 5 mana in the deck.
I think there's an argument for, like, in some builds of it, maybe Primal Mist, or Primordial Mist, but...
Which card is that again?
Primordial Mist is a blue 4 mana spell that, when it comes into play at your end of turn, you make a 2/2 by manifesting the top card.
Oh, the enchantment. I was thinking of an instant name specifically.
It doesn't actually manifest, but it puts a 2/2 on the board at the end, and then if it dies, that card goes to your hand. And you can exile at any point in time and cast the spell. It's pretty good. It's very expensive. It's kind of a little more Win-Mori, but like there's some builds of the deck if you're in like Bant control with enchantment stuff. It's very strong. It's a strong card.
Yeah. Notably, also it does say play it, so you could still like get your lands in play if you really want more lands.
Yeah, it makes land drops for you. It does quite a bit. It's very strong.
Granted, you already have the 5 drop, so what do you need more lands for? But you know.
Yeah.
And this probably good. Attack with your counter.
You could have
your creature.
You could manage rain into it, Red Mage. That could be a reason you want lands. But
that's fair.
Or you could have mucked your own mana with your Blood Moon, which happens on these decks sometimes.
UnusualThunder just seemingly leaving mana up open for the Snapcaster Mage here, or just like the dig for time, Mystic, draw all the card.
They don't really have anything in their hand that really casts that well on their main phase, so what else are they gonna do?
Correct.
I mean, they're gonna have to counter stuff.
The Snapcaster Mage for 2/1 beater. Let's go.
You could try to hard cast that Treasure Cruise with your fetch land.
Let's do that. That sounds hot.
I'd be tapping out for a Treasure Cruise main. I mean, at some point they might be. All right, they are going to counter this.
Counter here.
Yeah. I mean, which I'd be happy with. It's just a counter spell, or it's a counter spell out of their hand.
I think the logic is that the mana leaks such are going to get bad over time.
Oh, they are going to get bad. Yeah, I mean, they still have mana leak in hand to cover the next spell. If they have one, they're not going to have one here.
And I think that's the mindset. Hope they cast something afterwards. Mana leak that. Sadly, you're going to be a bit embarrassed here by having this mana leak now.
Yeah. You got to dig through time. I mean, mana leak is a good second counter. Mana leak's a good second counter.
Mana leak's not dead yet by any means.
It's never really dead. Like when you play with these blue decks, I mean, like, and it's a second or third counter spell. Like you can even get Academy sometimes with it. So I don't know. Like I think sometimes folks write off Mana Leak and Spell Pierce pretty easily, and I have tended to find a different finding with them. I find that if you're playing a deck that is countering a lot of spells, it's generally nice to have some efficient ones that stack up as secondary counter spells.
Yeah, like once you cast your
run.
negates, your first 1 or 2 counter spells, then finishing off on a mana leak still works.
Yep.
Yeah,
We
the only
we see Mystic Ancestral here. Yeah, we're not running out of cards ever.
No, cards are fine. It's just what are we drawing with them? You know, what kind of cards are we hitting? We're hitting the right ones because right now we are a little lean on counters.
Play like Mystic. I think you want to like Ancestral and just play whatever land that gives you like more blue mana.
Yeah, I mean, I can see mystical sanctuarying for the dig through time. It's a very strong card. It's not unreasonable to hit. I mean, you don't have a big bin right now, but yeah, I think it's reasonable. Finds the right cards. That's one of the issues. That
instead of just finding like more.
A lot of cards, yeah. Like, I just want a lot of cards.
Ooh, do we have some sort of burn spell in hand that complements this?
Yeah, we could possibly have a fetch here into.
Yeah, there's just too many
Suns.
cards for me to show all of them. Is the
It's no big deal. We get it. It's a lot of cards. All right, ponder.
Change the layout. You jump.
Got a ponder. Got an ancestral. I can see putting dig. I don't mind putting dig on top.
Oh, we hit the E with. I thought it hit close. So that was what it looked like. It was targeting. That's why I was a bit.
It did. Yeah, it was highlighted. Yeah, you're right. It did look like it was targeted. So I was like, maybe it's the Sweltering Suns or something.
Good old MTGO boy.
Yeah.
I kind of just like leading with Ancestral Ponder here. Just I'm looking for a couple cards.
I don't want to discard. I just do it on their turn, their upkeep.
Yeah.
Then that's why I'm saying Ponder perhaps in case you just want to like look for like another counter spell first.
Filter something. Now, Keswick Wolfrun is very good. That's a hell of a land to hit.
That is a way to use all his mana.
Now, Maze of Ith is going to be problematic, but they don't know it yet.
No. So how much mana do we have here? We have 5, 6, 7, 8 plus the Wolfgang. 3 more if you want to like go full on yeehaw.
We call it the Wolfgang.
the Wolfgang crew.
I honestly think you probably want to try to leave up if they don't block. Yeah, the Wolfgang clan. Wolfgang, my favorite band. All right, so what do we see here? You see the Snapcaster come down?
Oh, yeah, I wouldn't hate that.
Probably just see Ancestral first.
Sit there and create some free freeze. That's not gonna be.
Well, Ultimate's next turn.
Pain in the ass, simply put.
Well, yeah, no, it's definitely a card you don't really want to have happen. You can attack it on board though, at a minimum.
So Glorybringer annoying, but not the end of the world.
Haste is the big deal. Fire is actually Fire's Yapamaya can actually be relevant in this style of matchup.
Absolutely.
Mana Dorks attacking when they come in. It's like you don't want to counter every Mana Dork.
It means that even if you have a Flame Slash the turn after, it's still gone in for 4 damage. Maybe it remove the Snapcaster as well.
This is where you're going to see the Mana Leak still not be irrelevant. They're going to cast their Werewolf here, yep. But then, their OP is not Ancestraling on their turn. They're out of counter spells. I mean, they have a Mystic Sanctuary, so they can get one back if they want to do that. But honestly, if they're using the Sanctuary to get back counter spells, I tend to be pretty happy with that.
Oh no, I have only Ancestral and Ponder and everything.
Yeah,
they don't really have their hands not that great. Yeah, Ancestral's like
poor Thunder.
Yeah.
All right, there's that.
Under no circumstance I am putting anything that is not as Ancestral Recall on the top of my deck with
Dig Through Time is better than Ancestral Recall. I think you're 100% wrong on that. Ancestral Recall
sorry, there was a dig in the graveyard? I missed that.
There is a dig in the graveyard.
Then you dig.
Dig's way better than Ancestral, yeah. But yeah, all right, a lot of draw in this deck.
Well, back to basics is another way to deal with this Wolfgang, but
it's also a way to deal with half of your mana base,
half your lands. So maybe not.
Yeah, this is where the non-basics kind of come in to bite you in the butt when you're running back to basics and Blood Moon. You're just like, oh, okay, well, half my lands in play are non-basic.
Yeah, you're running you have to really question how big a deal is this land. If do I want to risk it to Blood Moon? Do I want to risk it to?
All they're doing is stone raining the one land to basically kind of screw their own mana, which their mana is very important. They're their Plume deck.
And we mentioned Price of Progress as a reason to play basics.
Yeah,
that is definitely probably the thing you see the most. Wasteland probably be the other one.
They can wipe the board here. They could do a board wipe here if they wanted to with the 3 mana board wiper plus the burn.
Yeah, I don't think you care too much about that though.
Courser is a card engine. It's been hit. It's hit 2 lands off of it, I believe, at this point.
Absolutely,
that's not bad. So
I don't think it's bad. And with the two shovels in hand, you can definitely find some more lands with ease.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I want to just like maybe like set aside.
I think they're going to do the
Once
passive
again,
thing
we
and
have
find a counter spell here. They're finding a
Yeah.
counter spell, aren't they? Yep, Mystic Confluence. They are.
definitely
I kind of
reasonable,
figured they
definitely
were
reasonable.
because they definitely don't want to get hit by this Warbringer. This is actually like I don't think the Blue Moon Pilot's like in that great of a position, to be frank with you. I think they could lose this. Like
Oh,
oddly enough,
100%.
that sounds weird to say, but I think they are not like
Yeah, they
in an
chose to not
epically
play
good
the
position.
Mace of It this turn as well, as a result.
Yeah, I mean they might be blocking
Which
with
means they
their
could just
creature
die,
land. They could, but they've got what 4 power to put underneath the thing. Although if they do that, then the Lord Mayor just resolves.
6, 8 minus that's 6. That's it's not lethal range
Yeah.
with this.
I actually like attacking with the Courser first and just pressuring them. Land, not a land. That card's not great, but okay. Outpost Siege, no.
Yeah, it's in the same category as the portal.
Coercive Portal, yeah. It dies
Yup.
to less than Coercive Portal. It's harder to cast, but
It
has an alternate
does have
mode
some
that does
advantages and
have some relevance.
disadvantages. Being an attackman is definitely an upside.
Well, the alternate mode actually I think is relevant. That isn't the one that does damage.
Yeah,
if
that
your
as well.
creatures die.
There's a flexibility to it, which you rarely see with the portal.
All right, we're gonna
Like
see this.
what situation have you and your opponent ever agreed? Yeah, you know what? We both kind of want this board state to be less.
The cool thing
annoying.
is, like, I mean, they can try to bounce here. They can't really bounce here effectively because they'll just get played again. They can counter this draw 2, and then you actually get to shuffle
Does
with
it
your
get counted again? I mean,
They
it gets
picked up a
next
Mystic
turn, sure.
Sanctuary. They picked up a Mystic Sanctuary. Or I'm sorry, Mystic Confluence. So it's going to counter this.
Oh,
and I think they just want
sorry.
to-
I thought you meant the Glory Bringer, which is gonna cast its turn if it got bounced.
No. It's going to get countered here. It's going to get countered. They could bounce the Courser, but it would be awkward because there's
Yeah, no, that doesn't really
But
feel
they're
like
not going to
really
bounce it. What's nice about them not bouncing it is you can cast this Search for Tomorrow, which is kind of a bad card in your hand, to
Yeah, but it's
shuffle
way to find
away
another land,
the
perhaps.
Outpost Siege. Well, you can shuffle the Outpost Siege, which is I think what I would do with it. I mean, you go in for your tag here.
Siege not bad in this matchup though. If you do
I think I would rather shuffle it and find a threat that kills them. Like they're pretty low on life. Like you have a wolf run in play. Like I just don't like cards that don't do anything.
though.
What are they going to trample over it? Don't trample over it. Just shuffle your deck. You can shuffle your deck right now. No. Okay. All right. I guess we're doing it. All right. They want to give trample. Cool. They get.
No, I think it's
damage.
less they want to get trampled and more they want the outpost siege. Is my guess.
Fair enough. I just don't like it here. I don't think it's that great.
Yeah, and I'm gonna get punished by a
Yeah.
removal spell here.
Yeah, I just. Yeah. I just don't think it's that good. But they don't have any counters in hand. That's a thing. And they could definitely draw into some. They have a lot of draw.
Yeah, like that's the thing. UnusualThunder will just be using these next couple turns, if you ask me, to just find different counters and such.
That's why I was saying I don't really like Siege, because like Siege just gives them more time. And right now they have mana. All they want's time. They can make a lot of cards. So
Sinkhole's pretty good here. Spell Pierce is really mediocre.
Sinkhole and Brainstorm should be split up. Pierce is the worst
agreed.
card. You know.
Pierce is definitely the worst.
Yeah.
I think I'd go Brainstorm Spell Pierce versus the Sinkhole.
Yeah, I think Brainstorm's you have
a 6/5 in hand. If that resolves, you're like, please don't kill this. Kindly do not use your like 1 card or 2 cards.
You can just put in a kitchen. You can put in a Kitchen Finks or just a Fierce Empath or something though, or like Eternal Witness. I think's already been cast, so that's not findable. Just Tarmogoyf.
Yeah, what is the one that gets you any 6+ creatures?
That's Fierce Empath. That's what I was saying. Yeah, find you like a Tarka or something, you can kill their walkers off. Not bad. Well, there's some of the conditional counter spells that are just like, these might at this point be starting to, without another supporting counter spell, start to become vestigial. You take a fetch here, down to 7. So their life total is not infinite here.
Nope, sure ain't. Never was, never will be. Thank God. Don't have any hard counters though, so I could easily see this just end up being a.
You probably just foretell. Don't foretell that way, but I think you just foretell or cast your Muyan Ling out. But if you're casting Muyan Ling out, you're just saying, hit me with what you got. And that's what they're doing. They're going to say, hit me with what you got.
Yeah, and then probably either cycling this miscalc here. Because otherwise you just sell. Like,
well, I haven't counted the mana. They might be able to double spell. They can't double spell this turn.
Yeah,
they could actually double spell if they cast the
piercing
search
is worth it here. Is the thing. likely speaking.
But I think you're casting the Woodland Bellower this turn anyways, and not the other card. And if you try to do the mana efficient thing by trying to like be techie and cast the Search for Tomorrow, you could really get got by the Miscalc, which would be kind of funny, but it would be poor play. You should just slam your big thing. They're gonna go for it.
I mean, it's fine. I mean,
they're gonna
you
do it.
Well,
Okay,
you just happen to play the Search for Tomorrow afterwards.
Well, no, you actually couldn't. You don't have enough mana there.
You should do.
No, you'd be one short. You have 8 in play. 8 in play. So if you play a 6-drop.
So there's 3 forests. And then the 3 non-basics. That's
you have wild growth. You have wild growth. You're right.
Yeah, and Signet. That is 9.
White border.
You're also going to get gotten like this by the fact that you can't even cast your woodland. So that gets you as well.
You definitely want to deal with Mu
You just don't
Yanling
realize it.
Yeah. I think you want to deal with Mu Yanling really soon. All right, land.
Nothing is going to just get away with this game, possibly.
Yeah. All right, they're going to make a 4/4. They're going to start trying to clock.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I like that. Just be like, yeah, I'm going to kill you at a certain time. Like, it's going to happen. Who knows when? Does it matter? Not really.
They could just fire up their creature land and try to hit for 8. It's a lot of
that's not unreasonable. I kind of like the idea of just like.
I like just down-ticking Jace and drawing more cards. And
yeah, I can get behind that. I'd probably behold the Beyond before I do that.
Yeah, you can't. I mean, you could just hard cast the hold, or you could foretell it.
I'm gonna get.
I think I would prefer to foretell because I don't want to discard. But I'd probably play out Maze of Ith and then just foretell.
Well, you haven't played a land for true. If you do minus a Jace, you're probably gonna end up discarding.
You will. Yeah, I mean, you're gonna end up with. Okay,
yeah, but I think he's playing on. I think she's playing on plus in the Jace.
Oh, okay. I just don't think Jace is. I don't think his uptick is that great in this matchup. The creatures are just too big. I mean, it does something, but.
Well, the game.
I guess it stops.
The game looks like.
Run as well. I mean, right now it looks like they just have a lot of nothing in hand. To me.
Yeah, but 4 lands is a lot of
Field
lands.
of Ruin. Hello.
Hello, dear. They're drawing 2 a turn though. They're on a deck that runs a lot of stuff that kills you. So.
Goodbye, Wolfgang.
Now, if they hit like a Blood Moon,
Wolfclan run.
Yeah, Wolfgang run.
God damn it, WolfgangCloud.
Now they can put that in the bin and actually probably trigger it pretty easily. You definitely just slam here. Just go for it.
Oh wow, that is a mediocre draw.
Yeah. I mean, that card is not great here.
Wait, what did they choose for Outpost CG? Oh, we just can't see the
lands. I think maybe I'm wrong on it though. Oh, you're right.
Oh yeah, there's 4 forests now instead of 3. Yeah, so they did. No, wait, no, they tutored the mountain with the search, so they would have hit the forest.
Fierce Empath hits what? If this is resolving, you're like, all right, I'm clear. Just get something that murders them. Like
you
probably
something that's like counterable and like undealable with.
I mean, you have a Thrun or a Shifting
the 7/6 with hexproof.
Carnage Tyrant.
That's pretty what I'm getting here.
That's very good. Yeah, that'd be a very good one to find.
How about Ulamog, the ceaseless anger?
Like, I'm just gonna exile your deck. You drew too many cards. I'm gonna exile the rest. Yeah, it's not a bad one.
Get rid of.
But I do think Carnage Tyrant, if you're running, it's pretty good. Fine too.
At this point, not even a question. You minus a Jace.
Yeah. I think you should have last turn. You wanted to find.
It stopped being a question now. Yeah, it's not getting logged.
I just think, when you're in a spot like this, your hand's not good. Like, their hand's not good. It's a bad hand.
Nope.
You want counter spells.
Agreed.
Yeah, UnusualThunder's top of
Remember when we said you weren't going to need
has not been very friendly.
What's that now?
Remember when we said we were like, we have plenty of card draw.
Well, the problem is like I was actually curious what Red Mage was saying. What were you saying, Red Mage?
No, I was saying that just the top of her deck has sucked. Like, it's like you can draw however many cards you want, but the full of your action is in the top 20 heads of your deck.
Here's the thing, though, right? Like, when you're playing, they're playing a ton of card draw, right? When you're playing card draw, that's a card slot. It's not a counter spell at that point. So, like, when you're playing cards like, the Foretell, the card that we just saw cast, when you're playing that 5-drop Scry draw, like, those cards are powerful, but, like, they're card slots. And when they're not counter spells, you're not going to draw more counter spells, So it's, that's kind of my thing.
League is actually really great here. Just even more clock and a way to get rid of a certain annoying legendary creature.
Yep, Maze of Ith. So that stops some stuff. But I think
they know
they have
I'm going to end up casting this Logic Nut for. What is X going to be when we cast it finally?
It'll be a lot. I mean... Does he get a search for his Kanta down? Whatever happened to the back to basics? Where'd that thing go? It's probably another side of the hand.
I think it was brainstormed away.
That back to basics looks so bad in this deck. Oh, I just don't like it in this build. I'm just like, you know.
X can be up to 28. Just so that you're aware.
Like I could
they're gonna counter it. They want to counter it.
Back to basics is just
They attack here. I mean, they don't really have to lodge that here. They have a Vendilion Clique. Although what they don't know is they can definitely get got pretty hard by the Kozlik's return. There we go. Getting in the damages. And we'll probably see a V-Click. My guess would be main phase. V-Click of note cannot get rid of exiled cards off of the Citadel Siege. Or whatever that siege is called. Outpost Siege, I think.
Outpost Siege, yeah.
Yeah. All right, so
what we find here from Brahms.
Go for the Kozlik's return here.
Interesting.
I don't think you counter this. They just want to get the equity off of it when they hardcast this Ulamog.
Yeah, I believe it's 5 damage it deals once it gets recast.
5 or 6. I can't remember which. Yeah, 5.
Yeah,
okay.
I believe it's 5. I'm not even sure I'm casting it actually.
Yeah, I think they just want to get in the bin. I mean, they do have a lot of big creatures in that deck.
Now,
6 power greater.
I'm not sure I love that.
Summon Library is not another. It's a good one to find. I mean, yeah, your life total is not infinite, but
no, but you can take 4 or 8 damage.
All right, V-Click comes down to get rid of the Ulamog, but probably give them a better card or another different card.
I'm not sure it's better if it has.
Wasteland's a very good one because that allows them to attack this turn for a lot of damage because there's a Maze of Ith. Well, that honestly may have been a better card, but it's a card that's uncounterable and it's going to let them attack.
One, I believe.
If they take, yeah.
They don't block.
There's some merit to attacking the Muyan Ling. It's going to make another 4/4, but I think you just attack their face here. Make any burn spell lethal.
So currently, we can see how much. I'm trying to think how much Thunder has. It's 10 on board. So this Sylvan is less free than we might initially look at it as. Well, not free, cheap.
It's not free. I mean, if they're attacking with everything without a way to block, I mean, they're gonna have to start blocking here, right? There's a 6/5 on board.
I mean, I think next turn you probably just sacrifice Muyan Ling to become a 4/4.
Sure. Then you're blocking. You're doing 7. Seems fine to me.
Let's read what Brahms is writing here. I should have wastelanded.
Something else.
Some land. I'm not sure what land they
said. Why are they not attacking here? You're not dead to the crackback. Attack. Oh my goodness.
What are you planning on blocking again?
Oh no. Just kill them. Kill them. Like
what are you blocking? When did it get reached? Did I miss something?
No, it was just a misplay.
Maybe they
They're afraid of the crackback. You're putting yourself in a worse position by far doing this. This is not. Oh no, Brahms.
That is another tap land from Zendikar.
Okay.
Silundi Vision.
Sure, I can't remember the names honestly.
Like you're literally trading this off for 4 damage at this point, and now they don't have to block anymore, and they have you dead on the crackback. So like this was not you needed to attack there because then they have worse blocks. It's an abyss. I think they blew up the right land. I think you just need to attack, unless I'm missing something. But this is not getting better for you,
isn't it? I don't think that the Blood Moon deck can necessarily just beat a resolved Outpost Siege that easily. Like that card is terrifying.
Sure, but you have a clock. Like it's not that terrifying when you have a clock. It's not killing them. Sudden Demise is a pretty good one to hit, though. That at least gives you some removal if you want to keep it.
This is going to be a difficult one.
You put all the cards back. You can't draw anymore. I mean, because
we're playing Ivy in that day as well. Oh boy.
Are putting it all back? Okay, all right. Interesting.
I don't think you're Are you putting back the? Are you keeping the land instead?
I keep it the land because they have the Vendilion Clique in play, and you can cycle into your burn spell, which will kill their board of blue creatures if you do it for 4.
Assuming it doesn't get countered.
I mean it's probably going to get countered, but I mean like at least
then you have Nissa, find forest, play forest, trigger, flip.
Yeah, And they have a lethal on board. They have 11 power in on board, so they're dead. Because they did attack last turn, which was not well done.
No clue why that didn't happen.
Yeah, you wouldn't be dead this turn if you'd attacked last turn. It was not a forced block, but it was a very strongly advised block.
Yeah, like I think what would have happened in that case is that most likely we're seeing the land activated trump blocking and then swung back for leave.
Land was tapped last turn. Could have done it.
Oh, I mean this turn.
Yeah, this turn. Yeah, they blocked the land. Yeah, for sure.
Back for lethal next turn.
For sure. No, now the game's over. Yeah,
Is this still
over.
game 1, by the way? Did other games happen that I forgot?
I don't know.
Remember.
This game's gone long. I do think Brahms actually
I
had
don't
this
remember
one.
that being another game, so...
I'll be honest, I was rooting pretty hard for Brahms. Not that I have anything against the Blue Moon deck, but I think they were... I like seeing a deck come back from behind. An initial being behind, and they were pretty behind.
I'm with you. I'm with you on that one. I'm not the type of person to root for anyone or any deck usually.
I root for a deck that's behind. Generally, I'm like, all right. Especially when there's a line, I'm like, there's a line here. You just got to see it, you got to play it, and you can win off of it. But yeah, I think that's gone. It's slipped away at this point.
Yeah, you can flip the Nizza here. What are you finding?
If you can find some life gain, possibly. I mean, I don't know.
Gonna find Plummet.
Yeah, I mean, if you're playing a Plummet main deck, I mean, I guess I suppose.
Begin the Spirit Dragon.
How about?
Next turn that would have been lovely.
Yeah. If you had it a little earlier.
Next turn, of course.
There is not though. Yep. No, missing that attack step was pretty big. Pretty big. Anyway, Sudden Demise is a cool one to see in the deck too. Obviously, they're teching for Death and Death. It's a strong card. Like Death and Taxes, it ranches. Red deck wins a little bit, especially if you're on a rampy deck where you're like blocking a bunch and you can just like stall.
It'll even do pretty good against the mirror like mono.
Oh, you see like one of their good channel cards, Sundering Titan.
Yeah, but we're not seeing channel though, and Banefire.
Yeah, Banefire can go right to the bottom. Oh, this hand's a lot better.
Just 4 mana open. Cast a Banefire for 20. Let's go.
Yeah. Narset is not the kind of card
you Banefire for lethal so badly, just like
I've played it in Charbelcher. It's quite good. In Charbelcher, really good. You have channel. You just random channel. Oh, it's not Banefire. I think it's Banefire. What run I run? Caravax Torch or Banefire? One of the two. One of the ones uncounterable.
Pretty sure
Banefire is the uncounterable. Caravax Torch is one that costs more to target.
Yeah, it costs 2 to target.
The advantage is if you cast it for low mana, Caravax Torch is slightly better.
Yeah.
If you're playing it for that low consistently, you probably should be playing something else.
Probably. But hey. Mana Drain's going to be pretty sick in this matchup, though. That's not a weak card.
Sure is.
Not a weak card. I mean, the thing could be, I mean, at this point... Yeah. I also think one of the issues you can run into on Blue Moon is like when you have these sort of hands, like it doesn't have any red interaction that I can see at least. There might be a card I don't see. They're just hoping to get a drain off. Now, what I would kind of like here is you don't have good cards to get back. I kind of like just sitting on the Eternal Witness, playing the Treetop Village out and just smacking them around and forcing them to play things to the board.
Yeah, that's perfectly reasonable. Treetop Village, help them out.
Like when I'm ahead like this, I don't even try to cast. Yeah, perfect. Well played. Like just force them to play into you. Don't let their cards be relevant. Be like, hey, cast your Narset. Go ahead. Find a relevant card. I
think we're going to see the Astrolabe and then hold up counter here.
That's fine. Like you're taking 5 a turn. Like that's great. Like it's not progressing the game state. That's kind of like why I'm happy with that if I'm on the other side of the board.
All the way.
Yep.
And like this is a hand. Look at this hand. Like what if you do mana drain like the 4-drop or something? Whatever.
Yeah. What are you doing with it?
Also, you can reduce the cost on, but that's still double blue. And you have the spell that you can reduce on, but that's...
Now, Brahms is evidently on Dark Depths combo if they're playing Thespian Stage. You didn't see that out of them in the first game.
Yeah, it makes sense. Prime time as well, perhaps.
They're just going to copy this Treetop Village, what I would do. And just give them the 8 beat down. Like, just ape them out.
Kiko Bird.
Yeah, just ape them out. Just give them the apes. Except 8 a turn? No joke. Dead in 2 turns.
Like, look at this. Like, this is a hand where thing, and this is what you have to start considering. You have to have an instant hand there. You can't do too much else, which is notable. And now we just whose mic is that?
Is it mine?
Yeah, it's yours.
Someone was sitting there, Mike.
Yeah, I was turning to do something with the dog. The dog
I see.
is being a weirdo. It's sleeping in a crack on the couch. I'm like, what are you doing down there? What are you doing? You ever like sleep on your belly with your legs straight up?
So remind me, how many of a card are we allowed to play in Canadian Highlander again?
Well, you can have as many
Was it
Treetop
2, right?
Village you want. You know, if Treetop Village is killing people, I'd let them play 100 of those. Like my deck's just all Treetop Villages. I don't do anything before turn 3, but you know,
just playing it against the control deck, like, haha, all your remove spells are nothing. Oh,
yeah. Your counter spells are for naught.
yeah, well, it for nothing. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, look at this though. I mean, it's like, what are you gonna do? Like, this is why you really want red cards early in these. Like, you want red cards early against most decks. Against
Impulse
decks.
And what?
Impulse, also not a card I think is playable in Blue Moon anymore.
And then we take some more damage.
No, but like kind of tying back into what we were talking about is like, you know, when you're playing more cards like Impulse and more cards like Fact or Fiction or Behold the Beyond, whatever that Behold was the new Behold card? Behold what?
Behold the Multiverse, I think.
That sure, yeah, the Foretell one, or like the 5-mana one. It's like they just don't do anything. They draw you cards. That's it.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. And it's like cards are thick, but when you have more cards to draw cards, you draw more cards to draw cards, and then you don't do things that affect more.
Side of that I'd rather be on Impulse and Behold the Multiverse and such, and Graven.
Sure.
Like at least that helps me find, for example, there's a Cinco. But it's not gonna matter. You're gonna get stripped. You're gonna get beaten down, and this is gonna be a game for Brahms.
Yeah, you need to have burn spells and counter spells, and then like the cheapest of possible draw spells.
And Brahms didn't even have an impressive hand here.
No, it was really good against their hand. It's just apes. It's just mono apes.
Thunder just had like their only real.
We're in 2021, and you just got beat down by Monkey House. You know,
like,
it's great.
Mana Drainer hand. That was about their game plan for dealing with cards.
Yeah.
And the only card that was cast of note was Nissa, and that came down on turn 2 when you didn't have your Mana Drain up.
Yeah, I will say that if to the point that you were making earlier about cards, like the thing is that my expensive card draw spells, if I am playing any, they should just be planeswalkers. That's where we're at, because planeswalkers are also threats. Like those
cards have a place too. If your metagame is all blue, like those cards are great. But if your metagame has decks that punch you in the face, those cards are horrible. And like, there's a lot of decks in Highlander that punch you in the face.
Looks at your Graven Law and just laughs.
Like, cool, yeah.
Yeah, we might see a concession here depending on. Actually, no, they should just be able to tell the other player how they want the game to go.
Concession on what? I'm sorry.
Brahms mulliganing there makes a lot of sense. That was not really a keepable hand.
No, yeah, that hand was bad.
Wonder just this is a 6 count. Yeah, that makes more sense then.
I think I would keep the Primal Command before I'd keep a Tarka. Primal Command finds a creature, it also puts their land in, or puts their land back on top. It's kind of nice.
I could even see, and this is definitely greedy, removing the Farseek.
Yeah, I'd rather just,
I think that's already greedy.
Yeah, I mean, like, Unusual Thunder's hand is pretty greedy, too. It's all lands in a negate against green-red. You know, I mean, I get not wanting to go to 5 on the play, which is understandable. Oh, Ape House. Turn 1.
5.
Pyroclasm against a 2/4 and a 0/3. You're just like, oh, no.
Oh, no. God, Pyroclasm, not what you want to see here.
No, it doesn't even kill the Ape House if it could. It can go instant speed. Oh, no.
Oh, there you go.
I mean, there's a 5-mana draw spell.
Yeah, there you go.
look, I would keep saying it, but I'm gonna stop beating him up on it. I'm not trying to beat Unusual Thunder up on it. But I'm just like, you can't get away with these cards. They're too greedy. Oh God, oh, that's a big boy.
Who's the big boy? Who's the big boy?
I think here there's a debate.
Correct me.
Yeah,
untapped.
I actually kind of like casting this first. You make it if you get negated here, it's a pretty greedy negate. I think you should let this happen, but
it's Farseek untapped.
No. It's a new card. They stopped doing that actually because of combo decks.
I think I would actually gone with the. Oh right, you did need the red. No, you don't really need the red souls. I think
the reason you do it is because you want to hard cast your Carnage Tyrant next turn. I like that play. You want to hard cast the Carnage Tyrant.
I just want to play the course and try and hit a land off my top.
Nah, Carnage Tyrant, just kill him. Like, honestly, just kill them. Like, that's the problem they had in the first game.
right.
The problem they had in the first game is they did not try to kill them. They played very passively. They lost the game because they didn't attack. Like, I mean, I don't know if they lost it, but like they put themselves in a spot to lose. They put them in a spot to assuredly lose it.
And Thunder, how do you want to deal with this card that kills you in 3 attack steps? That no set drift doesn't
It's
affect, not
completely uninteractive. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
The last time that
I'm
thing resolved against me, my
Very
solution
nice.
was to put a click and a stifle bird in front of it and trade, but then I also took like 5 damage from it. It was very far ahead.
I've actually beaten that card in a Thrun on the board at the same time with Blue Moon. But the way I did it, and it was actually not that long ago, it was like maybe 6 months ago, it was by using Mystic Sanctuary and Cryptic Command to just repeatedly tap their team. And then simultaneously, I used Ironcrag Pyromancer to dome them for 3 each time. I just kept on doing it, and then they died. I was like, great. Like, that worked. Like, I was like, I thought I was just dead. I saw Thrun. I'm like, oh, Thrun, great. I'm glad you're playing that card. Glad to have Thrun along. You know, Thrun is a cool old card, though. I'll give him that. Thrun's a sick card. But it murders this deck flat generally.
The sheer existence of Thran is why the card Summary Dismissal was in my deck for a while.
Oh wow, yeah, I've never gone that deep. I don't hate Thran that much. I mean, it was pretty played 4-drop for a bit in some green decks, but it's like it's not really a highly playable card anymore. It's just like it's not good enough at rate.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised to just see 4 cards go to the bottom here. Just oh boy.
Yeah, it's gonna take an Obliterate.
A Conch Tyrant here in hand.
Yeah, you need a mana drain into Obliterate.
Yes.
Just reset the old
or
board.
I know it's 6 toughness, so we can't even like Pyroclasm and then cast like Anger of the Gods. That's not even enough.
No, it's a big boy. Obliterate, yeah. That's one of the cards I often say is a card that could get you back into a winning spot. Cause it's like basically upheaval that like kills things, everything.
Yeah. But you could also just cast upheaval, right? And then maybe things work out better next time. Your hand's
I don't think they're in a better spot. I don't think they're in a better spot.
Being incredibly useless
against a mana dork deck. I mean, Obliterate at least kills everything. Yeah, I don't know.
I imagine we're just gonna like leave mana for the Dick spell here, and then probably hold up the gate as well.
You could back to basics and get 2 of their lands, get their Treetop Village.
So
you're not dead. So you're not dead next turn. Treetop Village does literally kill you next turn. It's 12 damage.
That's a good point.
No, you might have to.
Or you can just like set a drift. No, you don't. That would be expensive. Too expensive.
Yeah.
Isn't so the drift a sorcerer?
It is. Certainly a sorcery. It has a drawback to it. It's a powerful card, though. I really like that card. I'm not going to talk shit on that card. That card's great. Like, I play it in quite a few decks, and I think it's good. It's also another card that helps predict and foreshadow be good. That's actually, I mentioned that card actually earlier in the stream.
Gee, I wonder what he has on top.
Yeah. Rough.
Maybe the card I put there for him.
Yep. And you just foreshadow it. Get rid of it. Or Memory Lapse. Memory Lapse foreshadow. Great. Great combo. I mean, it's not really a combo. It just draws you 2 cards and gets rid of their good thing. But hey, it's not bad. We're going to see them probably set Adrift the Courser. If they don't, then they're dead. Because the other 2 things are hexproof. There's Foreshadow. Yep, set Adrift the Courser. So they're not dead to board. They just go to 1.
Question is there any way is it literally any card combination you can draw here on your
Well, no, what they can do now is they can just put one of their opponent's lands on top and find their best creature that probably has haste.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Great Elf.
Is there literally any way Thunder can win this?
No. I mean, like, Obliterate.
I can't even think of a card.
Land drop Obliterate. Land drop Obliterate is about it.
Yeah, that's the thing. Treat of it, even if you had like double like Hang of the Gods and cast that, like that wouldn't even be enough.
Treetop kills you.
This is just game.
Basics. Yeah, it's not good.
Tyrant, pretty good against blue.
Pretty good in this matchup. Yep.
Yep.
I mean, in the black and the red green.
It is a card that just says, "Fuck you," trying to deal with this in any way that isn't creatures.
Oh, you're trying to interact with my stuff? No, no.
Why would you do that?
Yeah, no. Play against my 7/6 Trampler.
Hexproof. Fun and interactive mechanic.
There's actually a lot of cards. Like I've had people play Gaia's Revenge against me in this format, and I was like, "Excuse me!" Like recently, I was like, "Excuse me." I mean, I beat it, but I was like, "What? What? Who plays this?"
I remember making a meme about it at some point recently. But that's about it.
No, I've had people play it against me. I'm like, oh, I think I had someone who got frustrated or something. And they played like their blue-white uncounterable deck or something.
No,
Yeah,
that
it
was
was a
in
long
the last game. So I'm just
Okay.
going to go through our standings. We did see Brahms going 2-1 here against UnusualThunder. Likewise, Evios 2-1 against Necro. Loading 2-1 against Luca, and another 2-1 for Blahguy against WolfgangCloud. And it's going to bring us to a fourth and final round for the evening. Can we
Sweet.
get the pairings?
I am going to jump up for a second and grab myself a cup of coffee. I'll be right back, gentlemen.
Take your time.
Alrighty.
Pairings it up.
Lovely stuff. Let's see who we have here. So we have, I believe, Brahms at the Freo slot, and we'll have to see who he may or may not be up against, if that's worth
That would be
taking a look at.
Blahguy.
Against
Which
Blahguy, that might
sounds
be,
like an interesting matchup, actually.
yeah, that might be worth looking at. Let's see what else we have. We have Evius and Luca. That seems to be, if I remember correctly, Evius is on his medium green. Luca's on John Necro as well. We have a Thunder versus Necro. That could actually also be a really interesting matchup. Wolfgang, Mono Red versus Loading's Rock Deck. Also think that would be an interesting matchup. Both of these seem fairly interesting in their own style.
Yeah, I'm just gonna put the top deck on, and then this is probably gonna go significantly quicker since Blahguy's deck is pretty aggressive. So, and then we have moved to the other matches as we go through.
Yeah. So I'm noticing a couple things here. Like, this is a tournament dominated by Jund colors. We have no white players. Literally, no one is playing white. We have one person playing blue, and they're also playing red. We have one on green, one on green red, two on Jund, one on black green, one on black red, and one on mono red. That is a lot. That is a lot of Jund. And not a lot of counter spells, not a lot of ponders, not a lot of path to exiles, not a lot of Faldias, not a lot of those two. So I'm definitely interested in what happened this week. Like, I think a part of it is, of course, the nature of what do players tend to play. Some people stick with the one deck they know and play the same way in and out. Some of it's just people who show up. Like, we didn't see Bailite, that means we didn't see his absent list. Unless someone
That would have had
decides
white cards in it.
That's definitely a list that would have white cards in it, yeah. We didn't see
It's
like,
funny when Bailite's away, like there's just so many aggro decks. although funny enough, I think that green red deck
a bit of aggro decks the last couple weeks now.
I think big green red can actually give Abzan a pretty good run for his money. Just huge big idiots like you know. No, yeah, that we just saw. Like, I mean, those cards are like Inferno Titans and stuff. They're just huge. Like, they're just huge. I mean, if you don't have it right then, like, they kill you. Like, and it's just one card.
This is a pretty decent hand from Blahguy for a 6-carder. You have
yeah,
and Copter to really just grind the game out in the late when you get to that point. And you have the boar.
Yeah.
The boar. With the
and I like their hand as it pairs up against Brahms' hand. Brahms' hand has, like, again,
Brahms'
the
hand is so
like,
greedy.
so greedy.
Cast anything ever.
We're gonna cast something on. Is he on the draw? You got to mold that on the draw. Oof, that's just
Oh yeah, on the draw. Oh boy, yeah. Especially
it's really slow.
Up against which he should at this point.
I mean, it's pretty bad to say, well, your hand's too slow when you have a turn 2 Signet, but it's too slow when you have a turn 2 Signet here, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, it's another Soul Ring.
To a 4-drop, I'd keep that, but
there's a Courser. There's a Courser hiding over there. We didn't see that.
Oh yeah, okay, that changes the things.
Yeah. That card's very good in this matchup. So yes, okay. I thought it was a 6-card hand. I was like, oh, this is a little dicey.
No.
Yeah, that would have been a better 5 then.
I'm just bad at my job. It turns out there was
no problem. I thought it was. I should have looked up and seen the number. I can see the number. I can see the number 7 there. I should have seen that.
It turns out we are also bad at our job.
Yeah, we didn't see it.
Okay, actually, Blahguy's on a 5-card. Still a pretty good 5-card hand, honestly.
Yeah, Bob should get him back in the game. The's not a lot of removal. Just do a 10 drop.
the boar.
Huh? Oh no, I get Bob down. I'm on a 5.
Yeah,
like
naturally.
Yeah, 10 drop. I mean, now if they draw channel next turn, how hilarious is that? It actually puts them in a precarious spot, but because they have to take 1 off their land they have in hand to do it. But and they're also not under an insignificant amount of pressure. So
not going for the turn 2 channel as cowards.
I mean, if I hit a channel, I'd do it too. But yeah, just because you don't put it in your deck not to do it.
Kozilek is also not that great. You only draw like 2 cards from it instead
of 4 cards. Kozilek's 4. Promise. I mean, you're discarding.
No.
You're right.
That is the old Kozilek.
Promise you. I have played so much of these Kozileks. Yeah.
No. I thought it was the new Kozilek that only draws you up to hand size.
Correct. Yeah, the new ones, but they counter spells, which is pretty good.
It's like, what if we make counterbalance into a permanent creature? That's huge. But also, we discard instead of revealing.
Yeah. That just murders you flat. It's just a huge Eldrazi Titan. Kozilek is probably one of the worst old Eldrazi Titans. Like, the other ones do a lot more. One of them's indestructible and blows up a land, and the other one's, Emrakul, which is just like the most nasty creature probably ever printed.
Honestly, which of the ones? I think Kozilek was the one that was easily the most similar between iterations.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I haven't really looked at them that hard. I mean, the ones that probably the most similarity are both Ulamogs. They both destroy stuff.
Yeah, destroy, exile. I one just mill them, but that's about it.
Kozilek both draw cards.
The mill just always felt random on Kozilek. I'm like, okay. Like, I mean, it does that too.
I mean,
cool. It means it kills me fast in cube.
Destroying the land, I suppose.
Yeah, it just kills you really fast in cube. You're like, oh, great. I lost half my deck. Hopefully I'm playing red cards. And I have replaceable effects.
Well, it made sense at the time, right? Because the way that they symbolize the Eldrazi preparing stuff so they would eat them is by exiling in Battle for Zendikar. So, like...
Ingest was the mechanic, yeah.
It's like super ingest, and then when it gets eaten, it's processing, right? I think it's something like that.
Sure.
If you attack here with both your creatures, they can either choose to block, and you trade your bolt for their cousin, which you're happy with.
So here's the thing: if you're gonna make this attack, you have to attack with Bob too. Like, you can't. Like, they're gonna know, and you're not gonna attack with the Bob because you're gonna be greedy. You should attack with Bob though. You got to do it.
You no matter what, do free freeze. Like, that's not even a question.
You got to keep the story consistent. Like, you got to attack with Bob here. It sucks to do it, but you have to if you're going to sell this story. If you want to sell this story and make this block happen,
I think you're perfectly fine with them taking 6 and going to 5 here.
Yeah, I mean, well, yeah, they'll probably die.
You have Deathbite to gain some damage, and Bolt can go.
I'm very big about keeping the narrative straight, and if you want to keep the narrative straight, you don't need more cards to win at this point. You want more damage in there. They're going to block the Bob, and then you can bolt the Courser if you'd like, or you can go directly to their face and put down 4 more power. Essentially,
yeah, I do like keeping.
Fair enough. I don't care about Bob here. I don't care about Bob anymore. They're dead. Like, you just got to kill them, and you probably don't even bolt their thing. You probably just bolt their face.
I don't remember. So we played Kozilek this turn, so I was going to say depending on what they.
You don't want this game to go long. I mean, if you're going to attack there, you attack with all. Like, I really like them making that line of play. I think it's 100% right. Like, I think, and you don't attack with Bob. Like, you're showing your hand and you're not pressing your advantage. And your deck's not going to get better. Like, you're going to draw worse cards as time goes on.
I can't help but look at a Blahguy deck here, and I was going to say Lucas deck because I keep forgetting who it is when I see like these like micro decks. I'm not going to lie. Tommen the hero.
Yeah, look, if you're playing 3 color, you should play better cards than that. But like, look, you need some curve fillers.
The argument for why you played Tommen the hero in Blahguy's version is the fact you play a lot of pump spells, but I'm not even sure that's worth it.
No. I play it in Sui Black because I have to. That's about it. Like, that's the only thing I'll play it in. Play it because I got to.
Cards just out.
Now this hand's a lot more acceptable. You have 1 dead card in it for Brahms. Like, you have
it's
great blockers.
That was a 1-lander with not a lot of castle spells.
Yeah.
This is a hand that exists.
Wasteland's not going to be epic in this matchup.
No. Is this a 5 card for Blahguy?
I don't know. Brahms is at 6. I know that. It might be 5 or 6 for them. I think they mulligan once at a minimum.
This hand is awkward.
It's a little stinky. It's a little bit stinky.
You have one.
Huh?
And then you have some cards left, and I guess that's about it.
At least you have reanimate against scavenging use. It always feels great.
Blahguy appears to be on 6.
Okay. I think they would.
Is already 6. Yeah. Correct. That's what I'm saying. What if you want to go to 5?
I think I would keep that.
Yeah,
like
this is on the edge.
It's not great, but it's a hand like that pretty much won you the last game.
Yeah, 3 to 4 is easily the worst one. I agree.
I mean, plus on the Blahguy's deck, I mean, you're just looking to cast 2 1s and 3 1s and 3 2s. Like, if it can do that, you probably keep it most of the time. Like, and sometimes it gets outclassed by a Sylvan Caryatid.
Okay, Experiment 1. That's a better 1 drop at least.
Yep, it's
Still
a
not
reasonable
lovely,
one.
but we do want to get up by you here and just slam some cards.
Yeah, and you just want to draw another color source for next turn. If you draw another color source, you get to double evolve, maybe, or something like that.
Specifically due to how your mana looks here, the worst creature to play here on turn 1 would be the black drop, because now
So here's another thing. Like, this is kind of a finer point. Like, I really don't like playing Rootbound Crag there. You don't have anything in your hand that's going to need it for next turn. You are opening yourself up to Wasteland, Price of Progress type cards.
And like next
play the forest.
Like, why would you need? You're not going to need a triple red next turn.
No, and you have access to double red easily next turn due to Sylvan Caryatid, which is probably not dying unless it dies to a pump spell.
Exactly.
It's a pretty free attack here. They should not play their creature first.
I kind of
attack first.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I think this is reckless, but I think you have to be reckless and just take the Wasteland here.
You should Wasteland there. Yeah. I mean, you have to do it. Like, it's not the colorless mana is going to help you to cast the sky or the shade.
Help you cast 1 card and that's it.
Now, this is where I think they messed up. I don't think. I mean, they should still attack here, but they should have attacked first and like feigned the pump spell and seen what their opponent did.
Yeah, I think it's reasonable.
Yep. Not having red mana might be problematic here against the Scavenging Ooze. If the Scavenging Ooze is able to eat a few things, you don't generally want to play Scavenging Ooze early. You generally want to turn 4 or 5 after some stuff's attritted and traded and all that.
Yeah, but you have nothing else to play here, and your opponent just wastelanded on 2.
Yep.
We have both of the looks like the same card.
Yeah, nice.
They look very similar. Let's be honest here.
Like I can fetches by you immediately draws 2 red cards. Thanks, deck.
That's the Jund Aggro deck, right? I mean, it's got mana issues. It's one of the reasons you play red deck wins.
Yep.
That can happen. It's a trade-off you have.
Do you want to trade your schools for my 2/2? Good sir.
Probably not.
No, probably not.
Probably not.
And
Plague Engineer.
As soon as the reanimate comes down, and you're just like, oh.
Well, they haven't really drawn that well. I mean, they just got drawn a bunch of lands. Yep.
Well, this IFU might actually get to activate then, if that's how this game's going to
Maybe. They're on a pretty good clock, though. I mean,
yeah, it's well done if they don't want to trade Scavenging Ooze.
Yeah.
And that's still not a land.
Nope, that's a card that does nothing right now. I guess you could bolt yourself and your opponent.
No, it doesn't.
They are going to trade.
Nothing. It doesn't do anything.
It puts a creature in the bin. You can say it does nothing. The card does nothing. That's a reasonable sense.
It was a what's it called? Null Rod reference. I tried to do and I failed.
Oh, okay. I was like, no, that's proper English to say the card does nothing. It's proper English.
I'm aware.
Okay, I was like, oh, I think that's proper English, but you can say it doesn't do anything as well. I mean, because it doesn't. It just, it dies. It dies, and you can reanimate it. It does nothing again. It doesn't do anything again.
Nissa though, this is a pretty good top deck here.
Yeah, it's a real card.
Slap it on top of land, just sit there like, yeah, you wanna attack or something here?
I might just slap him in the face with that land.
Does it have vigilance?
No, but I might just do it
anyway.
Fire
land, haze.
Just to kill him. But I guess you don't have to.
Perfectly reasonable.
Yeah, you just block with the use at that point. Yeah, okay.
I think is it
you would have gotten really punished. The fatal push. The fatal push can kill the land. The fatal push can kill the land, so they drew the right card to punish it. To punish that line. But
congratulations, you now get to eat your own Rootbound Crag.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, the right answer is probably actually just I don't know. It's probably killing the ooze.
So you can like reanimate it, perhaps.
Yeah, I mean, the problem is you're not going to get to reanimate it. They can bring it back.
I mean, the thing is, it is a temporary land. So yeah.
No, you probably kill the forest here and try to kill the Nissa. Just go in and force them to trade the use or something. It's probably the right line. I'm just trying to think if there is a world in which you want to kill the use.
Yeah, the thing is, I think killing the Scavenging Ooze is just going to end up being too slow.
Yeah, you're not looking for value. You're looking
And like they can -3, then there's a get back schools if they really wanna.
Yeah, it's probably not going to have enough loyalty after this turn, but yeah, for sure.
True.
For sure.
That is definitely also an option. Just seeing the Nissa take it. Problem with attacking Nissa puts her down to 2, you +1 her, and then suddenly they can't kill it again. Unless they want to trade schools.
It depends what they draw. I mean, if they draw more mana, maybe. Or more like 1 mana kill spells, like Blood Chief's
I'm not gonna lie, knowing Blahguy, I'm expecting this to go face.
I would gladly take that to face, and then yeah. Let's see where it's going. Where is it going? They thought about it. I think killing this is probably right. Killing this is
I forget the character is non-tap now. Yeah, no, never mind. I'm sending it to Nissa then.
Yeah, this is.
I was like 4 damage. I'm like, yeah, no, 4 damage is not really worth sending.
Yeah,
but no,
well, they get to bring back their ooze anyways.
Ooh, Ewit, just haha.
Well, it being a 2/1 is just great right here. It's like, okay,
yeah, you get on-tap a land that you can then block with, and then activate the scoos, and then you just make your opponent cry. And
they should definitely find a basic. All right, cool. They found a basic. We're finding basics now.
You already been taught your lesson. Please continue to be taught.
I don't think Brahms was Brahms taught the lesson. I think it was someone else. Maybe it was Brahms.
No, Brahms got wastelanded.
Well, they got Wasteland. That's correct, but they did not get popped. Like someone got popped twice really early.
Well,
I felt bad. It was like one game we watched. It was like popped
here. Then you're on tap. Witness that.
Yeah.
That was loading. The second time he got popped specifically as you were complaining about the him having spawning pit.
Yeah, I was like, man, this mana base looks greedy. I was like, no.
It's almost
I'm sorry, loading. I hope that wasn't the power of premonition on my part. I was like, man, like this mana base, I don't know. Just
no, we're 2 mana cards, so we can't because we have 1.
Yeah, it's like a Castle Lochthwain on the board, like a Volrath Stronghold.
I'm curious here.
Yeah,
is it animating here to tap down? No, there's still 2 blockers. No, never mind.
No, look, you might within 1 turn cycle, someone's going to concede this game, and it's probably
I was going to say if Blahguy doesn't find a way, I'm not sure how Blahguy finds a way to win this game.
Red mana. The board should be pretty far.
Playing too many lands.
Yeah, no, they're not going to play the price of
4 turns ago was the way that he won this game.
Yeah, they conceded right there. Yeah, which is sensible. I probably would have done the same. I'd be like, nope, I'm good.
Agreed.
I'm good.
I still have a game left. This is not over.
Didn't pan. Yeah, it didn't pan. Just didn't pan. Like I think that was a reasonable keep on their part, though. They needed to hit a land, but
Agreed.
Sometimes you hit 2 red cards after fetching for Bayou. You're just like, well.
Yeah, and even then, like you also hit a bunch of 2 mana cards.
That's also the price of progress, Oh, the combo's in hand for Dark Depths. Like, do you want to keep that?
Oh, do it.
I don't know that I want to keep that. To be honest, it's really slow.
Coward.
Yeah, you could say that, but with a Ramanap, whatever that guy is, the Minotaur.
I think there was like a reasonable blocker in hand as well.
Oh, they do have a 2-drop. They have a 2-drop. They can block. Okay.
Yeah. Wait, they have 2-drop? Oh, they drew
it.
They
have a scavenging use. Yes. Yeah. Oh, they draw it. They drew it. Okay. All right. Because you're just blocking with that thing. You don't care. You're not gonna get to block with it, but you don't care.
On the Married Lodge.
Yep. You're just like, please give me my 2020 baby. Let me go.
Yeah. I'm probably. Oh wow.
What is that card? Is that a mist?
You're going to turn 2 schools.
There is a constant mist.
Is that a constant mist? No, I don't think it is.
I think so.
No, it's an overgrowth. It's overgrowth.
Yeah, it's an overgrowth.
Yeah, the art's very similar. I had to look at it too. I had to pop it up. Right. Very close. So they played library? Oh, it's so greedy. What? You don't need it. You don't need it. Just block. You got to block here. You're gonna try to die here? No, don't do that to yourself, please.
I want to ask a little bit of a question, which is I just loaded up this art for Overgrowth that I didn't even know existed. And what the hell is going on in this piece of art?
I don't know. You know what? At least it's creative. It's doing some interesting stuff. I don't know. There's like a floating Christmas wreath. Maybe it's an Easter wreath. It's not very Christmas festive. It's got like tulips on it. I don't know. No clue. What's going on in this one? There's like some nasty roots in a swamp.
It doesn't feel like a magic card. It's just a swarm that they were like, we don't need more swarm parts. Let's just do something else. I don't know.
It's obviously a very old swarm. There's a Rob Alexander art on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
You had to give a pass to all their art.
Well, now we're getting punished for not playing. Yeah. Now we're getting punished for what land we played last turn.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I didn't even see what we got off this Sylvan Library. The hand's still a little
Well, it's
veiled.
definitely a mana vault.
Yeah.
So
I
mana
think
vault
you.
land. If we played the stage
If you
last turn,
choose to do this, I think you.
at least play the
Okay.
Nissa or
I
like
I also
the
kind of like
Thank you.
Yeah, you play the Nissa, so you don't get just
But I
murdered. If
think
they
you
miss,
might be dead nonetheless.
if he misses on land
Kill
here,
the
you're not
Nissa, they
dead.
attack for 6,
If
presumably.
they miss on
Or
land
if they hit
here,
land.
they might be fine. The land's really what they need to fade.
Yeah,
They
like
didn't
the
fade
fact
the
that
land.
they didn't play the schools here could literally be the one thing that
Oh, it's
changes.
going to be 100% what Chait chooses this game. It's 2 damage or a blocker. It's a
You go
blocker.
down to 1.
You also take 2. You take
And then
4
you're
damage
just
off yourself.
dead for the
You take 2
fireplace.
damage off immediately, and then 4 damage off over time is what you do. Now the Earthshaker would have blocked that, and them hitting the land here would have put the Crusher or whatever that card is. I always forget that card's name. They're probably just going to play the Judith out here and just try to murder their face.
Oh, I legitimately, I don't think you play a Judith here.
You think you just go with the Oncrop Crasher?
I'm putting them on 1 with the Anchor Crasher, and then I'm just saying, if I play the Artisan, I'm killing you next turn.
Doesn't Artisan kill them next turn anyways with Judith?
Probably.
Yeah, it does.
Assuming they don't
Same
block.
clock. Same clock, and if they put out a blocker, you
you
can
fire
get it
blade
next turn.
here. You tank 7. You go to 3.
You take 1 more.
And you're technically not dead on upkeep.
No, you're not dead on
Now,
upkeep,
if
but
you somehow survive next turn as well,
you fade their next blocker.
I haven't found that line yet.
You fade the next blocker though, which is the big thing. I mean, if they sweep the board, then they die because Judas on board.
Now, technically, they could if they played the. Funny thing is that they could still have won last turn.
They're gonna cast an Inferno Titan. Inferno Titan still loses the game though, unfortunately.
Yeah,
Cool.
that pings you for 2, that puts you at 1, and then haha, Anchor Crasher, funny.
Yeah. And if you don't Uncrop Crasher, you actually don't win.
Next turn you would need to untap it either way because you'd go to 1.
Yeah.
Like even if you're like, Blahguy could basically just play Opposition Agent and say pass turn.
No, and again,
still
like you said, this game came down to not playing.
No, wait, no, that was being the first time to play.
Yeah. No, game came down to not playing Ooze on turn 2.
Agreed. Or even to an argument, while it was a smaller choice, not playing the stage or the mountain. Like that would also have given you a win in this specific instance. Didn't realize that was a mana vault. Oh, we can also just you know what, bolt is also an option.
Yeah, bolt's a good draw too. Yep. That's the game. Got to go fast. That's one of the reasons like people ask about like Lage combo a lot, Merit Lage combo, and I'm always like, it can kill people, but it's pretty slow for the format to be honest.
It's
generally,
it's not something you run to win the fast matchups.
But it is pretty good against like red deck wins. Like if you can get it like turn 3 off like an Urborg or like some weirdo land, like if you crop rot into it and you've crop rotted off of a Riftstone portal, like sometimes you can just mise people on turn 3 with it, and that's pretty. It's still fairly good against red deck.
Two last matches. If I'm just gonna quickly.
Yeah, sure.
Here. We have Evios Luca and Thunder Necro.
Yeah, whichever. Well, let's check out Necros. I don't think we've seen a lot of them today.
I'm agree.
About a little bit.
Of that.
Yeah.
Trying to see what we can find there.
Yeah, no, Ooze may have even pulled in the braid, which means less pressure on you. It's just, you hate to see it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we've got a Jace, Architect of Thought, doing a little bit of work here. A lot of Zombos.
Oh no. We gave the Aggro deck the monarchy.
Yeah, but they have a Jace at 8. Does that mean anything here? If it ultimates, does it mean anything? It might.
I don't even.
You got a thing.
They hit it. Oh, Jace's ultimate's pretty good. It means you can get their best card out of their deck and your best card out of your deck and put them into play.
With like doubling season and just like do shit.
Yeah. It's a pretty good ultimate. I mean, it rarely comes up. This card doesn't see a lot of play anymore.
I think it would even be. I guess if you get like a sweeper and like something from your opponent's deck, presumably.
Yeah, like a Rotting Regisaur. I mean, that's really good in Blue Moon, right?
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding. Sure how you get a Rotting Regisaur.
Necro's deck or your own.
She may be playing Rotting Regisaur in that deck.
Oh, I'm thinking Rotting Regisaur. I'm thinking. I was thinking the other. Carnivorous Titan. I had my mind stuck on that.
Yeah, no, Rotting Regisaur is probably a card in their deck. It's possible. Yeah, this is why like this other card, Fall from whatever it is, the 3 mana thing that mucks creatures. I do not like this card in Blue Moon. Ugh, I'm not a fan of it. It's really cool because it puts Monarchy down, but and it kills a creature, but like
that is
the creature
specifically why I dislike it. You do not want the monarchy to exist in
when you
where you're in control.
you hate it. You hate that card when you're playing the control decks. Like you have to race. You're like, oh god, I have to race. I have to try to hope
like,
the dealing thing doesn't get
Palace
bolted.
Jailer in your blue-white control deck for a reason.
Yep. So I'm not gonna play a removal spell, and the matchup's gonna be good.
Oh boy.
Come here, puppy.
Necro is now 1-0. That was game 1.
Sweet. Cool. Yeah, Recurring Nightmare, hell of a magic card. He even got a Falconwrath Aristocrat or Fireblade Artisan. That was a Falconwrath Aristocrat.
Loop. You can get exact the Dread Horde.
Butcher, yeah, just do one every time.
Couple times, paying for a couple of points even.
And I think the draw spells in this matchup are going to be exacerbated as a liability in this blue build.
Is where
because
5 mana, 4 mana card draw is like, it's not getting cast until you won the game already.
And it wasn't great even against the green-red deck, which is it's a rampy deck, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's more rampy.
It can be faster on its better draws, but it's slower on its worse.
Yes, yeah, on average. I mean, it's the kind of deck that like is doing 40 damage by turn 5, but like 5 damage by turn 4. Basically.
Yeah, no.
It's basically like a big crunch deck. It does crunch damage, like like just a lot all at once.
Yeah,
particularly
when it casts channel and does like 19 points of damage to itself.
Mock start. You hate to see that when you're on the Blue Moon deck. If they're not doing anything with it, that's kind of nice, though. What are they doing?
Surprise! Wow, nothing.
I mean, they could have a flash threat. They could have the 3/1 Knight. I think you still made
the
base,
Mox
though.
at that point.
I'd be surprised to see that type of deck play it though.
Yeah, no, you shouldn't play the Mox out. You're 100% right, Red Mage, because they're gonna have red cards and a Braid's a real thing.
Good old Dak.
Yeah.
I mean, Dak's probably not coming in down this turn, but you know.
They could have a kill spell, a 2-mana kill spell for this. Why would
I like playing the thing in the eyes, and I'm honestly kind of liking just keeping it to Jackson Probe as a surprise spell out of nowhere.
Yeah, they could just want to look here.
Yeah, I'm looking. I think I agree.
Just see what's up, I mean, I'll try to hit your next land drop. I mean, you'd be casting an extra anyways for a land drop.
Cast a mono card, you freaking coward.
I haven't thought scouring Blue Moon that much.
Nope, I do not play it often in it, but I have played it when I play very high delve count. Very high delve count. I don't mind it. Well, there's a land, but not really a land.
I remember there being 4 delve cards in Thunder's list. They played both of the.
Yeah, it's not unreasonable to include. I don't mind though. I won't ask as many questions about Thought Scour because I mean you can have Magmatic Sinkhole, Set Adrift, Dig Through Time, Treasure Cruise. You can play creatures. You play creatures.
You have the land like
Logic Knot,
Logic
Knot, and Mystic Sanctuary. There's 5 of them in there, yeah. So I mean, it's not unreasonable, depending on how you build it.
No, it's not
unreasonable.
I think this will
be a game for.
Now the blue 2 mana claustrophobia in hand or whatever the card actually does. It does something similar to that. It makes so they don't attack, right? That card's unreasonable. It's like, no, please, no.
Yeah, that card I think is actively bad. Thought Scour is fine.
Oh.
I just found that it gets pushed out.
Play the Nasa here. I'm not sure why you wouldn't play the Nasa here. I don't think it's worth keeping the Counterspell up. I was in the wrong.
I am 100% keeping a Counterspell up there every single time.
That was the start from Necro. I did not expect. I'm just going to keep his hand.
Well, I mean, here's the thing, right? Like, and that's why I agree with Red Mage on it. Like, they kept a hand that didn't really do a whole bunch except kill your first creature and then nothing much else. So, like, I don't think Necro's like an awful player. Like, I'm gonna assume they're on some sort of I'm gonna assume they're on something that would make sense given what they've done so far, which is not much, right? So, like, I think it's reasonable to leave a counterspell. There's probably something scary they could do if they hit the right land drop, or if the right conditions are met, i.e., creatures go to the pin.
I don't even think I'm blinking here. I think I'm just passing the turn again and keeping.
I think the fact that they're that scared of Jurori disruption is interesting.
Oh, why's my dog eating its foot? Quit eating your foot.
Because it's tasty.
I imagine.
What do we got?
But it might hit some value with like a counter or something at some point.
All right, there's a greedy land. The greedy Handwar Battlements. I wonder if they have the.
Do we have a free drop, or do we have all red spells in hand?
All right, we have to reanimate. All right, so we have multiple reanimation effects. So it's not a bad one to reanimate either.
This is why I'm not blinking there. I want to still have counterspell up.
Yep. Yep, their hand didn't make a lot of sense unless they could do this sort of thing. Right? Their range didn't make sense.
Yeah. 4 from favor here is gonna be at least okay, because you get to, like, the Jace breaks the Thopters. Your 4 from favor breaks the other guy.
Kind of. The lack of red mana breaks the Thopters. Once they hit the red mana, the Thopters are pretty good. They just turn into shocks, yeah.
Expensive ones, but yeah, shocks nonetheless.
Yeah, but you just want to be able to hold on to the monarchy
I think
for
that's
long enough.
Tad on the greedy side.
No, I would do that. I think, given that you have put that card in your deck, I think this is why that card is in your deck, right?
Yeah.
Do find a land. Which is,
Yahene is no bueno. I guess
Nope,
you can.
Yeah,
I guess you
Maze
can Maze with it. Okay.
Yeah.
So next time we can hold up double counterspell.
Yep.
Easily. So the question is, do you want to hold double counterspell, or do you want to get like Narset, the siblings out?
I'm definitely
you're winning on
counterspell.
board. You're winning on board. You don't need to do that. You just develop your mana more, and then eventually resolve your Narset or your twins. Yeah.
Those are turn a billion.
I think there's a better argument to developing the Jace, as opposed to not developing the Jace. I don't mind getting down a threat. Essentially, it's not a threat, but you know what I mean. Like, it's a card engine. It also blanks their board in conjunction with Maze of Ith.
Yeah.
We're one wasteland away.
Is indirectly both a win con and a.
Well, we're one wasteland away from the whole game going sideways, though. I mean, if there's a wasteland drawn or a strip mine, I don't know what point. They're probably not on strip mine down here. They could be on strip mine, though. We saw Vamp out of them. They're on a strip mine. They're on double mocks. Vamp, some other thing.
Oh, hey there, Ancestral Recall.
It's a good one to find. They could even target their opponent with it just to meme on them. You're like, oh, I targeted you. I don't even want these cards.
Do like how UnusualThunder is just like dragging it down, like here. See what I'm not taking.
I think one of my favorite lines of play is Notion Thief. Target my opponent with Ancestral just to meme on people. Like, yes. You may draw these. And then I get bolted in response.
Hold Breacher.
Cry. Just cry.
Hold Breacher cast.
I just want mana. Yeah, I want a ritual. I want a dark ritual this turn.
I have all the cards I need. Just give me mana, please.
This is actually a surprisingly pretty relevant card to have hit. Although I do think they should find a volcanic here and allow it to be attached to a creature so that they can. Oh, they're just going to counter. I think if you braid it, you can blow up their creature as well, which is kind of nice. But
yeah, but they probably, and if you equip it to Yahini, you're like, oh, cute.
You're not going to equip it to Yahini. You equip it to the Thopters. You have 2 threats that cannot get Maze of Ith out, and or blanked by Jace. So you could get the damage in and then steal the Monarchy.
Yeah, no, I do agree with your line of just let them get equipped first and then haha.
Oh yeah, just a braid, because a braid is not going to scale exceeding long.
That's an interesting choice.
What's that? I didn't see what they took.
I don't remember his name. It's the 2/1 flash for the 1 in the blue.
Oh, Brynhorn Cutthroat.
And whenever you cast the card during your opponent's turn, it gets a +1/+1 counters.
Yep, it's not a bad card. I mean, doesn't really seem like a good control card, but it's a fine card.
No, it feels like a tempo card also.
Oh, it's 100% a tempo card. Yeah,
exactly.
Killed a lot of people with that and flipped it back to a lot of ninjas and whatnot.
Yeah,
not a bad card in those decks.
Played in your Sorensen control. Your Sorensen tempo and such.
Oh, do I play it in Sorensen? I probably do. I think I do. I actually rebuilt that deck recently. It's a fun deck. It's not good, but it's so fun to play.
I think at the very least, something like blue-red tempo, particularly if you're playing the non-prowess.
Blue-red's just a better tempo deck, yeah. Just a better tempo deck in general. I don't think I tend to run prowess cards in that because you have to run too many counter spells. And prowess cards
like a heavy version
Blitz.
of that.
Like Blitz. Yeah. Like Blitz is more of an aggro deck. I mean, I think it kind of gets lumped into tempo, like blue-red tempo, but it's more of a 50-50 split, like blue-red deck with like almost no counter spells.
We have upgraded both Thopters there.
You could. I think at this point you may want to. All right, there's red mana. Are they going to counter it? They have to know they drew it for the turn. I mean, they wouldn't have held this card. Red mana is pretty good for them right now.
I'm trying to think here if it's worth braiding instead, but no, I can't see why that would be the case.
Yeah, I mean,
well, you got to do something with the upgrade. This Bastion of Remembrance needs to not resolve, I think. I'm pretty sure. It card's practically somewhat scary.
Light as Bastion. Yeah, you probably just counter the Bastion. Do you even counter the Bastion? Is that worth it?
Yes, I think it is. Because it also gives them a guy.
It makes every creature they have after this, like, something that you have to deal with
True.
on the stack, as opposed to killing it on the board, and you have red cards in your deck. I mean, they may have more draw spells than red cards, but
I mean, losing one life once in a while, too bad.
well, if they're resolving Mogwai Marshals, yeah, it's not great. I mean, it's just like they can sack their whole board, and it's a lot of damage.
This is the kind of thing I was like, that's kind of what I wanted to keep the counter for usually, but Jace.
Sure, yeah. I mean, Jace blanks it. I mean, but if they ever hit like a Goblin Bombardment or like a, they're just seeing a lot of cards right now. I mean, realistically,
absolutely. This is just like they just want to keep hitting that Andros, just keep playing some random cards. Treasure
maybe, maybe Necro will just hit the sick Rites of Initiation draw, like gaga, gotcha.
Unusual is just looking for more counters so that they can just keep up here.
I'll be honest though. You know. Now, who wants to see Rites of Initiation Reanimator Stompy? Yeah,
you used to play the deck a bunch in Vintage Masters Limited.
Yeah, it was good in the Goblins deck in that format.
It was also good in the cycling deck actually, because not because of cycling itself, but like you were black, white, red, which means you had Barrel Screech in your deck, and Barrel Screech plus the Rites of Initiation just killed them. They just died.
Kill the Mox. Are you sure if they
I don't know. I'm not sure. That's what we're doing.
I guess this is playing around the case of where your opponent does throw the mountain.
Yeah, or it starts throwing them at you. Or your planeswalkers. Maybe you want to keep your walkers around.
Play a land for turn, I'm trying to figure out.
I don't know.
Because I'm trying to figure out if we paid a blue mana there where we really shouldn't have. Because now we can't cast Sensor and Mana Drain if we want to.
Yeah, their mana does not look good. I mean, this is again, we were talking about like the creature lands. Like, I don't know. I don't know on the creature lands.
There's even a Bloodstained in hand. Why wouldn't you just play the Bloodstained effect for that and get like a? I guess you can't get a Volcanic, but you can get Steam Vents. I get Steam Vents, honestly. Or get a Mountain and use that as the Bloodstained Mire. Sorry, instead of Volcanic. Like I just feel like you want to hold up as much blue as possible, generally speaking. Not colorless.
Yeah. Lots of price the creature lands, right? Maze of Ith, all that. Pawn of Ulamog. I guess we're just going to mana drain it for lulz. The thing is, I mean, Necro still could have some pretty sick cards in hand, and if their mana starts cooperating, like they start dumping. So I mean,
like any 2-mana spell here, like
Pawn's not really great. Like it's just like,
yeah,
Pawn's not really an epically good Magic card. It's just kind of like, okay, you know.
They're going to want to see like any 2-1s just resolve here.
All right,
like,
they're going to pitch it. They're going to pitch it.
That makes sense.
Do they have a game 3 or they? Okay,
they do.
Okay. Yeah, I would pitch that one too. I would go to game 3 too. I'd be like, save my time.
Yeah, I'd probably just start a new game as well, just to be completely sure. If you ask me.
8 minutes.
At least from Front's point of view, I think you might wanna.
It is so many minutes.
Yeah, it's a ton. You can play a game in that. I mean, it's gonna go one way or the other before 8 minutes is up. I'd do it, but I also I haven't played Moto in a while, but I trust my Moto skills to be fast. Okay, all right. I'm sorry, I'm talking to the dog over here, so she's up, so I've got company. If my mic suddenly cuts out, she probably chewed through the cable. Isn't that right, you little gremlin? Anyway, what do we got here? Swamp nothing. Well, that burn spell could be relevant. That's the sort of matchup where the 1 damage off of that can be good, especially if it's like a Bloodghast, the Shade. This thing, exiling, it's pretty good. My guess would be it's instant, right? We'll just EOT it if they don't get a good remand target. Feels like we're going to get a good remand target. Goblin Rabble. That art is crazy. I've never seen that art before. It's pretty cute, though.
Yeah.
It's cool art.
And then we have a counter spell. Then we have an answer, finally, for the 1/1. Oh, no, we took a couple of damage. How horrible. Oh. That's the thing. That's the downside of playing these aristocrats creatures. They have 1/1s and 2/1s for 2.
Yeah, but I mean, like, you look at Salty Emissary, like Salty Emissary, like they don't close games fast, but Salty Emissary is in general just a problematic card to deal with. You're just like, come on, They're gonna 2-spell here. I like this. They're gonna cast.
I'm gonna make fun of it all the way until I'm sitting there playing mono red. I'm just going, oh no.
Yeah, they're horrible to fight with mono red because they block your stuff pretty well, and like they don't die to your burn spells. They come back, and they're like, oh god, like I'm just losing my cards. I'm losing my jackal pups and whatever, to like these crappy 1/1s and 2/2s and whatnot. These 2-power things that come back and block pretty well and come back as like half cards essentially. They have Village Rights. Nice. Give them the rights.
Hashtag Village Rights.
Village Rights. Yes. I like how Necros played this. Necros played this really well. I really like they did not try to jam the Rabble Master there. They're like, nope, not doing it. I'm going to 2-spell you. Go ahead and do what you're going to do. And they did. They tied up. They basically ate 2 mana. They Rashad and ported them twice because they didn't cast their Disallow last turn, and they cast a 1-mana spell on their turn 3, which is pretty good. I'd be happy with it. And you got some equity on your legend
and
there.
He's just like going like, yeah.
As long as they don't hit their Caracas in their Blood Moon deck, which I think they're running.
They are.
Greedy mana bases today. I know. Yeah. I've seen it. I was like, there's some greedy mana bases today. I'm like, oh, you guys are so greedy. I thought I was greedy. I'm not that greedy. I play the 5-color decks, but I don't play the utility lands as much. They're strong though. No one can really fault you that hard for playing Caracas. Card is not bad.
Not for playing Caracas. I can fault you a little bit for playing Caracas and also the stupid 4/3 and also the other Snowland and also at a certain point it gets a little too much.
It's a few, yeah. Even Field of Ruin is kind of greedy now with opposition agent around. Like, can you imagine doing that? Like when you're down like 2 land plus the tap of that 3 lands essentially, and they just flash in their opposition agent. You're just like, no, please, not again.
I don't think inherently Field is that greedy. I think you want that or Wasteland at the very least. One of them.
You want Wasteland build, but I think that's all I'd play. I'd probably play Tech Edge in this deck before I'd play Field of Ruin.
Tech Edge is a perfectly valid reason as card as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'd do Tech Edge before I do Field of Ruin at this point. Now, maybe like 2 years ago, I would have had a different answer. I would have said Field of Ruin is great, but I think it's just a little too slow at this point. I also don't like it versus Oppo Agent. I think Oppo Agent's a real enough card. If you're playing black, you're probably doing that sort of thing. So Annex is pretty good. They do have a lot of exile effects in this deck, so they might have the red, what is it, Anger of the Gods they could find here, and they have the mana for it in hand. That'd be a good one to find to deal with this board state.
Given your opponent's really no triggers for anything.
Yep. I mean, if they find it. They did not find it. They found a thing that gives their opponent the Monarchy very easily. They're probably going to try to kill. They don't have enough cards in bin to kill everything. Also, this Arkham's Astrolabe. Oh, no. You don't need this. Just draw a good cantrip, or play a good cantrip. Don't need this card. Back to basics. I mean, you could do that. It's the thing you can do. I think they're going to do it.
It might actually not be unreasonable.
It's 5 damage a turn, though. It's a time walk for you. Like that's really greedy, in my opinion.
I'm not saying it's good. I'm just saying it's not unreasonable.
Yeah. Vampiric Tutor to find probably something that's going to kill you. They could probably pierce this. They probably have to tap themselves out.
Yeah, agreed.
The red horses. You probably have to because they're probably
anything anyways. Sure, you don't.
What do you mean have to? I am happy when I get to pierce anything.
Well, you're losing a land though. You're stone raining yourself to your own back to basics on stack. That's the problem, right? So like you're going down to only 1 red mana and you're losing a land drop. Like it's pretty brutal to have to pierce this here. It's a cost.
True, but it's a volcanic island that's going to have to be sacrificed sooner or later. And the question is, are you going to let your opponent Vampiric Tutor?
Yeah, I mean, probably not. I'm probably going to counter it because if it gets a creature, I feel real bad in my heart. It might just be getting a basic mountain too to cast more cards.
I'm
even more reasonable.
Oh wow!
Have lands. No.
They let it resolve. Okay, yeah, they don't want to lose their land. I wouldn't be shocked if it was literally a mountain here. What do you want to bet? Mountain. Oh, swamp. Okay, we didn't get a mountain then.
Now that's going to end up eating the Pierce. So.
Yeah, it's still going to eat a Pierce. Yeah, and they're still going to take 5 this turn. So they're not quite on a 2 turn. Their opponent's off red.
So now you can. I guess your plan.
Any sack trigger that isn't on like Annex does it.
Is you Sinkhole, the Jury, and then you fall from favor, the Annex, and then you pray. That your back to basics is breaking them well enough, I guess.
mana to both sinkhole. Yeah, you do have exactly enough mana to do both. Yeah.
Yeah.
Post fetch. Yeah.
Yep.
No, that's not what we went with.
I don't think they want to risk that. They're going to leave the counter spell up and
Does
just go another
leave
turn.
you at 2 when they
One.
attack. You get shot for 2. Yeah, you
You're
should go down.
definitely not a good fan of seeing your opponent still able to cast.
So this mind
spells.
twist is hilarious. This mind twist is hilarious because like, no, I like mind twisting for one because they have another play. Like they're doing this to try to bait.
Oh, absolutely. I'm
And like their opponent's like, if I lose my right
You're
card
not-
here, I just lose the game.
Your response to this is to kill both creatures somehow. I don't think
Yeah.
you're countering this mind twist.
Yeah,
I can't with this hand.
I think I'm fine with casting the sinkhole in response there and then allowing this to do the thing. I think I would have probably kept disallow up anyway, and then if you lose it, you lose it. But
Yeah, I hope to hit one of your free other cards.
mm-hmm.
That's kind of the I like that play. I mean, we're gonna see another play out of them, right? Like we'll see another play at this point. I'm just curious
That's
what it
definitely
is.
what they're
Probably-
saying that they have to do, but
Yep.
No, we're just not.
Nope, they didn't make a play. Nope. Moving on Ling's a hell of a draw. Although it does take you off. It does not take you off counter.
No,
You still have counter. And you can shrink one of their things.
yeah, you shrink
And then-
the
I think you
jury.
just have to just plus your plate, keep the counter up. So just start grinding counters, or just make a 4/4 next turn even. When
Perilous
you're ready
Mirror.
to count on the trigger if they don't have too much. Oh,
Do you hit
Mirror.
them for 1 or do you hit Moo down? I think you hit Moo down to 3 just to make it so it's lethal if she makes a 4/4, which she probably will.
Necro disagrees.
Yep. No, they could have a shock in hand. There's reasons to not do that. They could have ruse, the old ruse. go for the old school mutagenic growth. That's really bad. They do a counter
Right.
spell too, which is a great draw.
But
Great
how do
draw.
you like if the jury attacks? You just lose the game, right? Like,
Oh, I forgot.
Like
Jury does
the,
do damage. Yeah, Jury does
yeah,
damage.
like you
Down
can't
bombard.
make a bird. How do you make like making a bird that kills
Oh,
you?
you're dead.
Understand.
You're dead.
Why not?
Yeah, you're dead. You did. Can logic not this and still die to the board.
Yeah, you had to.
You had to
plus
shrink the jury. That's what you needed to do there.
even then, I'm seeing how you come back.
No, you shrink the jury. You go to 1 from the goblin. Maybe you draw something at some point.
Like scratch.
That's how you win. You go to 1
Here we go.
and you hope that the top of the decks helps you.
And
Yep.
that's the last game. Both of this
Alrighty.
match and evening as well, actually.
And I'm going to bounce out. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for having me today. It was great getting to watch some games. I got a dog that probably needs to go outside for a bit, though, so I'm gonna head out. All right, y'all take it easy. Thanks again for having me.
Thanks for being around.
Take it easy now.
So, let's see who went 4-0, if anyone, today. Let's see here.
Brahms did, right?
I believe Brahms did go. Yeah. No, wait, no. Blahguy 1-2 and 1 over Brahms. So no, that is not the case. Actually, I believe we have a 4 today, if I'm correct. Let's just see. Where do we have the standings? Where do we find those?
Well, that's a bummer then. Yeah, you're right. We did not have a.
We had 3 free ones though. We had Blahguy, Evius, and Brahms all taking home a solid 3-1. So that will be everything for tonight. Before we go off and do too much else, maybe talk about anything we want to talk about here in the stream. There are some things we always have to do. And let's talk about what are we? We're at the 7th point. We do these Canadian Highlander weekly tournaments. We've just gone through one. We'll be putting up on YouTube if you're watching a stream and you just joined us. You can also just watch the old VOD afterwards if you want to. That's a way to watch as well. Thank you so much for the Prime Stop Bailite.
What a bro.
Otherwise, if you're interested in what we are, we have a website where you can find info about us. Likewise, if you want to learn about Canadian Highlander, we have a Discord where you can ask questions about anything Canadian Highlander. And we also have, if you're interested in playing it, beyond the LFG, looking for game queue on our Discord, we also have our events. And if you want to join, next event is the best option. Alternatively, you can also find it on the Discord in the announcements. Lastly, if you, like Bailite, want to subscribe to us, that'd be really great. And like Bailite, you might have a Prime sub lying around you want to use on someone, and we'd be more than happy to be that someone for you. I think that's about it. That is week 6 of the 10 post. A 10 post? Oh yes, good old 10 post. Classic
the 10
deck.
post, of course.
10th post. Playing only 2 Vesuvas because we couldn't afford the last 2. Budget.
Alright. So I say that today we go to raid tournament participant
sure.
Sparks.
Yeah, he's streaming.
He's
Sweet.
streaming right now, so no reason not
let's do that.
to say hi.
Let's go give him a holla.
Yeah, and thanks everybody for watching again. I will see you on the other side of the raid and or next week for the week 7 tournament. Bye.